Welcome to Us versus Movies. I'm your host tonight, Dustin, joined by the incredible Kevin Beckham.
Hoi hoi.
He's incredibly difficult to get a hold of on this podcast. You know what? I want to start over. This is all horrible.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
I don't know. Shut up, man. Fuck.
Just introduce me like a normal person.
I'm trying to start, please.
What are you doing? Like you fucking
I'm
hyping yourself up?
No, I was giving it a moment so I could find where the recording starts. It's called editing. Welcome to Us versus Movies. I'm your host tonight, Dustin, joined by my co-host, Kevin.
Hello, Dustin.
Thank you for being here tonight, Kevin, as we talk about a promising young woman, which in hindsight sounds really awful when I say it that way, but it's a rated R movie, hour 53 minutes, crime drama thriller, black comedy, possibly.
Pass.
I mean, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine on when this was actually released. Is it 2020? Is it 2021? I don't know.
January 25th, 2020, it did the circuits, and Sundance, December 25th, 2020 is ideally the release date.
I guess. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Movies don't get released. They're just found on a streaming device. It is directed by Emerald Fennell. That's my best guess, and that's what I'm going to go with. Starring Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, and Alison Brie, to just name a few. And the wonderful Clancy Brown, the antagonist of Highlander, the voice of a million cartoon characters, including Lex Luthor. He's just worth pointing out. And Jennifer Coolidge as Susan, the mom. She's great, too. So I just want to point them out. And lots of white male comedians and other nationalities as well, too. But mostly male comedians, or at least average good guys in movies. Right, Kevin?
Maybe guys that when you see them in other stuff, you go,
I don't know. I'll touch on that when we get further into the movie and touch on it, but I feel like there's a very particular reason for that. So we open up in a bar, Kevin, with horrible people dancing. It looks like a very crowded nightclub in Ohio, but actually we pull back and the music starts to slow down. The cameras slow down, and we see it's a very empty bar with very sad office-looking workers dancing too close and
three-piece suit business type kind of guys.
Yeah, and then we have our trio of Jerry, Jim, and Paul. It's just right there for me to grab. And they are talking. They're talking about how their female bosses, how come they can't do business on the golf course or at strip clubs like they used to in like good old days when they were.
Wonder why.
Yeah, like they used to before they actually became men and could do business. But whatever, they're not age appropriate for those comments, but it's fine. It's fine. And then one of them, out of the corner of his eyes, I mean, really, he's in a direct line of sight, sees a woman, also in a suit, sitting a little too intoxicated. It's Carey Mulligan. That's Cassandra. Sitting, and she's looking rather drunk, looking for something. And then they get rather rapey. Of she's in trouble. If she's not careful, someone's gonna give it to her. They're gonna give it to her.
It's so dumb the way they come in here. They're almost asking for it. Like they just put themselves in harm's way by getting drunk by themselves at a bar,
by being a woman alone, intoxicated anywhere, or just by being a woman, as this movie would probably loosely imply. And but no, Jerry, played by Adam Brody, you might know him as the good guy nerd from the OC. He's like, I'll help her out. And her friends are like, woo. He heads over and he asks her if she's doing okay. She's just like, phone. looking for it. And he's just like, okay, how are you going to get home from here? And she's like, ride share. It's very, it's very subtle where this conversation's going. And, one thing leads to another. He's like, all right, hey, I'm leaving. You can ride share with me. I'll get your ride share. And they're then in the back of a car. She's holding her head out the window like she's going to puke.
She's pretty inebriated.
Yeah.
You're led to believe that she's just in no condition. And like, if this guy, this is the first thought that popped on my head. Not a rapey fucking predator guy where I would be like, oh, she needs help. Let's either, hey, do you have a friend I can call? Or I can ride share and I can have it pick you up. I don't have to go with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like the first, like, I guess, corny ass thought that I had. I was just like, why did you just do that? And then I was like, he's
literally summon a ride share for someone. You do not need to be in the car with them.
Yeah, so. Sit down, everybody. It's almost like a taxi.
Yeah.
And I saw this and I was like, well, I kind of already knew what this movie is about a little bit, just about the whole revenge thing. And I was like, well, she sets up this gimmick that we'll go into, and then she kind of goes from there. I didn't really know what kind of set off this tale, but I knew kind of what the overall lying, I guess, main gimmick is. So I was really like, ooh, this is the introduction, right?
Yeah. I did not. I didn't know anything about this movie at all, other than several friends had asked, have you seen this movie? And I was like, I have not. So when we picked this movie, I was like, well, guess I'm gonna be able to answer that question now. So, but Adam Brody, yeah, he's this knight in shining armor type character. He's very just like, whereas the other two at the bar were saying just really sexually aggressive things, he was like, hey guys, no. He was the one saying, well, maybe the boss doesn't want us doing business on the golf course because the golf course doesn't allow women. Maybe that's why she doesn't want to. He's coming off as very woke and female empowering for just this little brief introduction. But then suddenly in this car, he's a nice guy. He's just making sure she gets where she's supposed to go. He's like,
I didn't believe that shit for a second. Like when he said it, I was like, you guys are all three just scumbags, so who cares?
Well, if you kneel down at crotch level at a woman that you just saw her underwear for, it's kind of a dead giveaway that you're like a perv. So he's like, hey, why not get a drink at my place? Because that's what you do with someone you just met and is blitzed out of their mind. You go, let's go back to my place.
Let's get you more blitzed.
Yeah. And so he just tells the driver to take him somewhere else. And the driver's like, listen, man. He looks at her. He looks at the dude. He's like, just put it in the app. This is my own personal car that I have to drive like a taxi to live in the modern era.
Maybe you heard of him.
Don't make me be a fucking hero, okay? Is the look on his face. Cut to Jerry's apartment.
Really, you got all that from the driver? I just got more if he was like, ugh,
oh no,
you're telling me somewhere else to go. That's all I got. There's an
awkward pause where he looks at her and she kind of looks at him like, do the right thing, buddy. Say no. And he goes, just put it in the app. Like, fuck that. I am not here to change the world. I'm here to drive my own car as a job. So I think I'm called a gig worker. I'm not really sure what that means. Because I only got 2 gigs on my hard drive at home. And it's all full of bunny pictures.
Hey, drive the fucking car, buddy.
He's just like, all right, man, I just love rabbits. They're like, oh, all right, freak. Cut to Jerry's apartment. They're there. She's Cassandra, that is Cassie, I think is what she actually goes by the whole time. She's just like, where am I? She's still playing this shtick of being very intoxicated. And Jerry pours her a disgusting sounding drink. I don't know. I don't drink. It sounded horrible. And he gives... It
looked like watermelon Mountain Dew. You would have ate that shit up.
No, it definitely looked like Gamer Fuel, but if it doesn't taste like Gamer Fuel, but it looks like Gamer Fuel, that's when I get enraged.
Dude, you're already
that shit would have woken me up right away of like, what the fuck is this shit?
Is Master Chief on the can? Am I getting double XP and COD?
Oh my God. No, I mean, you got to get the Master Chief one because that shit was just different. That thing was a little less regulated. All right. It had a different kick and burn to it, okay? And then the one where they introduced the blue, that shit was also a little, it was just like, oh, we're playing this one.
This man does not represent Mountain Dew or any of our products. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I should. I am.
We get a lot of this from Dew drinkers. They just start making up shit when the colors hit. That should be their making up shit when the colors hit Mountain Dew.
Everything from Code Red to the one with ginseng. I even tried it, even though I'm allergic to ginseng. The fucking Upstart, the fucking energy drink, Amp. Yeah.
Wasn't it Start Up? Or that
no, it's Upstart is their other one.
What a terrible.
Then they have the Kickstart one now. Oh wait, maybe I'm getting those mixed. Kickstart, whatever. Now
they got lawyers are just like, we never heard of this gentleman.
Now they got Mountain Dew Rise, which is their organic one. That's the equivalent of 2 cups of coffee. I'll just point out real quick. Exactly. And it's actually pretty fucking good. It's not as
Does it make your head swell like the ginseng one?
No, it doesn't have any of that in there. It just you don't feel as like I just pounded 2 cups of coffee.
Good shit in the morning.
Yeah, it's not like you just like drank an energy drink. You're kind of just like, oh, that was
bro, we're not getting any money for this. Why? I get it. You love Mountain Dew.
Hey man, you brought up fucking Gamer Fuel. Okay, so I had to go on my history of support for Mountain Dew. Maybe next episode they will, and they'll be like, fucking give them some free Rise at least, and I'll be like, I'll take it.
Now there's one person listening, and they're just like, I don't know what is he even talking about. Is this in the movie?
This is about a promising young woman. What the fuck is he talking about?
Not a Mountain Dew psychopath. Just different movie.
I'm very confused. But what is that movie about? Go ahead, tell me. Anyway, back to Jerry and Cassie. And Jerry has poured himself a very small drink and given Cassie a very large drink of pig swill. And, eventually, like, we get into the bedroom, and he is just kissing on her. She's not kissing him back. He's just like, I just feel such a connection to you.
You're so beautiful.
You're so beautiful. Just things that don't make any sense for a woman you have absolutely nothing, like you have no knowledge of at all.
He's trying to keep her at ease, dude. You're not a pro raper, dude. That's a pro raper move because he's all like, dude, I'm a pro raping. And you're like, okay, got her liquored up, got her inebriated, got her she knows not where she be. And
no, she doesn't. She knows that the roommate is out of town. I guess that's
so. Dustin, I guess I'll let you finish, and then I'll have an opinion.
Okay, yeah, because I mean we're almost out of this scene ish. Eventually, we're on top of his bed. He is still continuing to put on the moves, as some would call them. None of them are being reciprocated or wanted, and she is asking him, "What is he doing? What is he doing?" As he is pulling down her underwear, and in a very interesting scene, he is kind of just cradling these underwear like a weird,
he's sniffing them, dude. Everybody's got
trophy. I guess. And then she pops up completely sober and says,
"No, here's the thing, dude. Okay, she's like, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" Like instant change, and you're like, "Oh yeah, she's going to kill this motherfucker right now."
Yes. Yeah.
And he's just like white as a ghost. He's like, oh shit, I got caught being a fucking turd.
Yep. I got caught being a creeper. And then we just find
smash cut. Dustin, we're into the next day.
Smash cut. Yeah. Cassie's walking down the street barefoot down a city road. Pay me to do that in a street in America, to walk with my bare feet on the road. That's not happening.
Let alone in Ohio. Am I right, Ohio?
Definitely not in Ohio. Roads. You could fucking pay me to go to Ohio. All right. I don't even know why they made this in Ohio. Well, I know why they made this in Ohio. It seems very fitting, actually. But, oh, man. Fucking Ohio. Just ruining everything for the rest of the 49 states in the Union. Thanks a lot, Ohio.
Sorry, everyone. I shouldn't have said Ohio.
Oh, don't get me started on Ohio.
We
No
will.
love for
Oh,
Ohio here.
oh,
Ohio is not for lovers, okay?
hey,
It's for
let's take a
fucking
tea.
shitters.
Let's take a timeout. Calm down.
Hey, you're just pressing all my buttons, Game
Listen,
Kid.
one
Ohio.
tangent per segment. All right, this is
All right. Anyway, she's walking barefoot. She's eating a jelly donut.
I thought it was a chili dog.
Oh, that was a donut, dude. This morning.
Dude, I've had morning chili dogs. What's the problem? I
That
was
was
actually
not.
I was clicking with
You
her.
look, there's jelly pouring down her arm to make it look like blood.
One man's
The
chili
worst.
is jelly.
That is not. That's a donut. It's a donut, dude.
Fine.
She would no. It was a donut. She stops. 3 men begin catcalling her because it's early in the morning, and
Like,
all construction workers will instantly catcall you, even though they were not near a construction site. They also just seem to be on the road, and
hey, maybe they weren't even construction workers. Maybe they're just dressed as them.
I recognize one of them. He's a comedian too. I was just like, man,
A lot of comedians in this movie, and in my opinion, which is all I have, none of these guys are funny. And I've seen them outside of movies, and they're not funny. So I don't. You could actually probably put real actors in here. Would appreciate it a little bit more. There you go. That's one thing.
called in a lot of favors. Okay, believe it or not, there's not a high demand to cast rapers in a movie. You know, a lot of guys don't want that one on their resume. Creeper number 1, not really popular unless you're going to be creeper number 2 through 3 in the next movies you do, Kevin. I think the reason that they are all in here, since we're just touching base on it real quick here, is that casting wise, when I look at them, like on paper, on their headshots, in their other bodies of work, they are all nice guys. Like that's their moniker. Like Adam Brody is the perfect one. Like he's pretty much typecast as nice guy.
I get it. Even nice guys could be monsters. It's book by its cover.
Yeah.
I got it.
So I mean, that's just what it seems like. So, but these 3 gentlemen can't call her, and she just stops suddenly on the sidewalk. I should point out, and just stares at them, until they are uncomfortable, and then they say more derogatory things to her, and then they walk away because I guess that's
because they're cowards, Dustin.
Yeah, they're cowards, you know. And then she continues to eat her jelly donut and makes her way home. So, where we meet the fam, played by Clancy Brown and Jennifer Coolidge. You might know him.
Stops and goes to her bedroom and pulls out this little book, and she creates this little hashtag, like this, not a hashtag, but the markers. She's running a tally.
Hash marks, yeah, tally marks.
Yeah, hash marks, I mean. And then she kind of hides it again under her bed. And I'm like, okay. Is she killing these guys? Like, is this literally what I'm thinking? Like, did she just kill that guy?
Because there's a lot. Yeah, that's what I was.
Because the setup was, oh, my roommate's not coming back. It's just you and me. Oh, perfect, framing for him to assault her. Yeah. And then I was like, nope, she's going to turn the tide, spider to the web. I got you now, motherfucker. Now who runs Bartertown? And I thought she was just going to stab him in the neck with something that she had on her person or wherever, and just leave him for dead and be like, that's what happens when you try to take advantage, because I'm going to tell you my motivation. I will not tell the audience, though, until they figure it out.
Until much later.
You're like, oh, I get that you have some beef. I was like, towards the end, I was just coming up with, I was like, okay, I'm going to call your ending. Because speaking of like people asking you if you'd seen it, I only heard about this from another podcast, and they mentioned they thought there was a bunch of twists and turns at the end that were great. And I was like, really? Wow. And I completely forgot about that when I started watching it, because I was more enamored with the setup of like, oh, this is actually a cool spin on maybe the revenge thing, as she's like spider and flying this shit. I like that. And then the movie was like, I'm not going to do any of that. And I was like, well, okay. I guess I'll just watch. And then I just figured it out, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know. I'll go into more detail when we get through like more things, but I was just very confused of I don't
well,
know.
I had hoped she was killing them. I just knew instantly she was not. And then, she has this awkward moment. And real quick though on the tally marks. I didn't understand the alternating red and black on things. It bothered me. I'm like everything seemed to like really color coded, but
Uniformic, yeah.
I was like, is this just for fun or does this have a meaning or a purpose? Because it's like, especially in movies, like color and like just color theory play a huge role in it because we're the only thing we have is visually in front of us. And so when you do color, like her fingernails,
Oh, dude, her fingernails, I noticed it. I was watching it and I
yeah,
was the only one. I was like, her finger, they're so predominant in the
yeah,
movie. And then they only call towards it to the end.
yeah, with the
And
hair, and I was like,
and I was like, what? Not even
okay,
just the very end, the whole brick
yeah.
montage where the brick and the with her hand sitting there. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, this is like brick. Um, okay, I'll let you finish because then I got more things that are like visually and just tonally about the movie that kind of like, huh?
But yeah, I mean, my thing. So like the color theory in this, like, so the house is very pink because that represents like the mom and like possibly the womb. I honestly want to say, in thinking about it, like I can't say that for 100% certain, but
Right.
then like a lot of her clothing and just like I don't know, is just like there's a lot of blue, and it started to like kind of look just more like Easter colors, like pastels. But for the life of me, I cannot think of what that represents. I can't
Okay,
think of.
so I'll give you my cut because I thought the same
Okay.
thing. Like this movie has three different looks to it.
Hmm.
When you're in the parents' home, it's very like Lars and the Real Girl. It's very like everything's kind of flat and muted, but the colors are very vibrant. And the parents' house is almost overly designed. I feel like it could have been just like, hey, that's just how we shot it or whatever. But there's like,
I think it was intentional to
uh,
show that was like to show the mother's personality.
yeah, and there's like multiple chandeliers that are all in like I don't know. There's like these little weird things, and you don't get a lot of movement in the mother's house, right? They either have her at the table or they have her at the table. Everything happens at the
Yeah.
table except for one scene, and
Well, there's
it,
the kitchen table, the proper dining room table, her room, and like the sitting room.
and yeah, and that's like you're there that many times. I didn't, and I thought maybe because when she's also, it happens a little bit later in the movie when she goes back to the tally book. There's a picture of her as a child and her friend. I guess we're just gonna just get it out there.
Yeah.
Um, her
Oh,
friend
this is
Nina.
when I figured it out. The minute I saw the picture and she said "Goodnight, Nina," I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, okay."
So and it was like good
Yeah.
night, Nina, and it's two preteen looking girls, and they're clearly friends. Older picture, so that's clear. They have their names. It says Cassie and Nina or whatever, Cassandra and Nina. And I was like, okay, well, apparently Nina's lost. She's wearing the half heart necklace. You notice it from the jump. Um, you see this setup, and I was like, well, there's one of two things. Either Nina is a daughter, a sister, a friend. So that's all you can really piece together because she's older. They say she's 30. She looks older to me. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And the way she carries herself, it's really just down in the dumps. So she's clearly bothered by the loss. She forgets her own birthday. She's kind of in a dead end job at this coffee spot, not really wanting to make these advances into the adult world because when she first did, she had all this passion to be a doctor, and that was all taken away when she lost her friend because they all went to this medical school. And I'm just going to kind of go all over the place because
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
fine. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like breaking this movie down scene by scene, it's not really going to do it any favors. And like, this other student named Al Monroe and his little clique of buddies from Joe to Ryan to all these guys, right? It's just kind of like a million years ago. They're all grown up. They're all becoming doctors. They're all getting married. They're all just making their way. But Cassie's stuck in that moment when she lost her friend Nina. Um, to Al because Al basically drunk raped her, and all the friends were in on it. They filmed it. It was just this like tragic thing. I
Yeah.
assume that Nina took her life,
Yeah,
or
it's never explicitly said, but definitely
yeah.
that's what happened, you know?
So it's a real like heavy like tragic thing that our protagonist is like just dealing with, and she just carries it around like mentally, physically, all the time, except for when she's maybe at her job, and her personality is very like sarcastic, and it's angry. It's more of like an angry sarcasm. She's very crass. She doesn't care, and you can't tell her nothing because she's just dealing with this is how she's handling the grief, I assume.
Yeah.
And that is fine. Like, I didn't mind her character. It's just it's never kind of really clear to where that's coming from. This I don't want to say angst, but just this pain. And the movie presented around it, it feels like a romantic comedy tonally in a way. I was very confused on how it's presented visually, and with a lot of the like there's a lot of weird music stings. First, you get this like carefree pop music, a lot of like very pop tracks,
Hmm.
and then you almost get these darker tones when she's in these situations that are terrible for any fucking woman to be in, but she's 100% in control of them, and she just dunks on the guy of like, I caught you being a fucking scumbag. You need to check yourself. And I'm like, are you killing these guys? Are you just waving your finger at them, telling them they're bad, and you embarrass them? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you getting from this? Is if you make 1,000 guys feel stupid and shamed and embarrassed. Like, I had trouble of getting what her kind of revenge was on her own
Yeah.
before she makes that second tier jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just well, let's get there real quick. So it's like we meet the parents. They're just kind of concerned about her because obviously she's like in her 30s living at home. And then we go to work. We meet her boss slash friend who's just like, why are you, I put your name in for a corporate job because you're better than this place. You're smarter than this place. And she's like, I don't want to. We see it, like Kevin described, she treats the customers like shit. And she just doesn't give a fuck.
She doesn't want to take it to that next level of being a responsible, quote unquote, adult. Like, that's what it
Yeah.
feels like, because her grief is just too damning. It's just too much.
And she even says, I could, if I wanted the perfect life with a husband and kids and, all this other shit, she's like, I could snap my finger and have that.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of telling of, where she's at is intentional. It's not, it's by her design in a way.
Correct.
And that's when we move into, she's been picked up drunk-ish. Now we know it's fake drunk. Again, she's in just a dumpy ass apartment, and there is McLovin doing his best not to be called that and failing.
McDruggan. He's doing McDruggan.
McDruggan. He's doing lines of cocaine off of a album I assume is probably popular to someone.
I assume it was like The Strokes or like...
Oh, it was something shitty. It was like jazz or something, or I don't know. Something that shouldn't be on vinyl. Like, look, we ironically released this top 40 artist on vinyl because that's how it sounds the best.
Oh, man. I thought
no one appreciates it on vinyl? That's bullshit.
I thought he'd be more of a aficionado, like a hipster record guy.
Yeah, no, it's acid jazz. I assume. I don't actually know. And he's talking about he's a writer. Oh my god, a white guy doing coke that's a writer? Stop me if you've heard this one, everyone. He's got a book about what it's like to be a man in like today's age of being a man. Just real rough and tumble.
Hey man, no offense to men, but maybe they should take some. We're probably the least manliness we've ever been. Least manly. Right. I mean, look, it's not like we're prospectors. You know what I mean? Not like, getting a cold could kill us. Guys are kind of like terrible right now. Like, what happened to all the Vikings? Like, where did we just become just
bad
such
example?
Oh yeah. Uh, Pirates or
Ooh, they're
uh,
not really kind of a step further back.
bro, I meant Internet Pirates.
Oh, I mean they're
Yeah, those
fucking
guys fucking
awesome.
rule.
Best. I mean, stop it though.
Yeah,
Support
yeah,
things
you're
and
killing the
stuff.
industries that you love.
I mean, the fucking corporations are ruining it all for us. Anyway, you know what? Never mind. And so she's just kind of like, I think I should go home, and he's just like, no, no, you're good, you're fine, do some coke. She kind of blows it out. He's just like, well, that didn't fucking work. He's like, no, here, let me just rub some on your teeth for you. I'm just gonna just put my finger in your mouth, and then she asks for water, and he's just like, oh, and when he's facing her, he's doing this like, haha, I like you, you're great face, and then when she asks for something or he moves away, he just kind of rolls his eyes and looks real pissed off.
Yeah, he's just trying to prime her for creepy rape guy move.
And then she pretends to be asleep. He smacks her very hard in the head, which I will admit made me laugh because I was just like, oh, that was not subtle. He was just like, wake up, wake up. Oh, hey, there you are. Starts going back into it. Starts trying to put his hand, up her skirt and everything.
Trying
And
to finger her.
yes, yeah. And he's once again he's very into it. And then she's just like, Neil, what are you doing? And then he's just like, hi, freaks the fuck out, panics. And then that's when, yeah, she cuts this promo on him about how you're like a fucking creeper. And he's just like, hey, whatever, blah, 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 like,
I thought you were drunk.
yeah. And she's like, oh, that makes it okay. And that makes it right. She's like, you do get points for not trying to have sex with me when I was just straight up passed out. You actually woke me up first. But then that's it. She just makes him feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like, are you cutting his dick off? Like, what are you doing?
Because then we just...
I bet he never forget that shit again.
Yeah, she just leaves. And
I was so confused, Dustin.
Yeah, and then we just see the notebook. She's making another tally mark.
Not the
She's
movie,
writing
the
his
tally
name.
marks.
Yeah. And then that's it. She says, and that's when she says goodnight, Nina, I think. And I was like, what? What was the revenge making him? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's I guess, a way to teach someone a lesson. But at that point, that's when I realized, oh, okay. This is more of a message just a straight up message for the viewer.
Right.
I'm not really supposed to believe this is happening in the real world because it just ended like that. Like, he wouldn't learn his lesson from that. He would just probably be more diligent in making sure they're actually intoxicated.
Yeah,
or getting
maybe
them
quote
intoxicated.
unquote careful next time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's going to be more creeperish, probably not less creeperish. Like, he'll take a break from creeping and then he'll go back to creeping.
Because there's another scene in the movie later on where she does like round 3 of this that we get to follow, and it kind of gets interrupted. And one of the guys like, oh, you're the girl that's hitting up guys and tricking them, thinking that you're drunk and you're playing the guys. She's like, that's not me. There's another one.
It's the same guy from the beginning, the Paul guy.
Yeah,
because he says, "Oh, you're that chick Jerry told me about," and that was the Adam Brody.
And then I was
guy.
like, "Oh, so that means Jerry is alive." And she's like, "No, there's another girl doing that around here, and I heard she cuts like dicks off or something, or maybe I made that up." And I was like,
"But no," she says. She doesn't say that directly. She's like, "I'm not the only woman doing this. There's a group of us, which I see no evidence of, based on how many hash marks she had in her notebook." And then she says, and she carries scissors, so I'd watch out, Paul.
Yeah, that's and that kind of confused me even more. So I was like, well, either I'm stupid and I'm trying to make this movie do something that it was never intending to do, or this is just how she copes, right? She figures if she can correct someone's behavior, or just checks them, or just gets in the face of someone just like the guy Al that did that to her friend, that maybe gives her a little bit of relief, and she can just kind of function for a couple of days before she has to do it again, just because she's so angry, right? She doesn't know what else to do. She's not that hardened single white female. I'm going to kill and take over these. You know what I mean? You don't get that vibe from her, but the movie
Yeah.
kind of teases it in the beginning. She's incredibly smart. She's
Yeah.
incredibly she's playing the what do they say, like the 3D chess. She's a couple of steps ahead of everyone in the movie. While I think it tries to come off like she's ahead of the audience, I just think it comes off a little kind of like, well, I kind of know what you're going to do.
Yeah. Well, especially because and that's, I guess, what I found a little bit disappointing about her revenge, and I'm sure you did too, is that first guy. You're just kind of like, oh, what happened there, And then we get the fake out with the jelly down the arm, or chili, if you're Kevin watching the movie, down the arm,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Maybe I was thinking,
okay, I guess
chili
like
dog.
maybe she killed him, hopefully. And then you get the second guy where she just walks away, and you're like, okay, so she's definitely not killing them.
Maybe she is, because we never see the kill, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, is she doing at least something to them, or as we kind of later see, having someone beat them up, maybe, or I don't know. Anything? No? All right.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever. So, yeah, so she finishes with McLovin, and she's just like, I did like when she was just like, Neil, what's my name? What's my job? She just asked him very basic questions that you would have had in a conversation with someone.
This is a very good scene to bring. She does it a lot. She does this like, what's my name? What's all this stuff? What do I work? Whatever. So he doesn't care, right? Because he's just out there to creep her.
Yeah.
And this is my overall kind of dislike from the movie. It's the tone, man. Like this, the first, like almost the very beginning it's so kind of like, could be a revenge female empowerment slasher type thing where she's doing this for all the women that ever been wronged, and losing Nina is the catalyst, and she's just gonna fucking just start murking dudes. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. I love this fucking cat and mouse shit. Let's do it. But when it has something like a powerful scene, she's like, what's my name? Do you even know where I work? You know what? Like, I don't think it's shot correctly, and I think he's playing it for comedy almost. I feel like it's all being played for like a light laugh or like a black comedy where she's being so sarcastic. Like, I don't feel like there's any passion or inflection on her voice to show that this is serious to me. This is how I cope with losing my best friend, who was put in a scenario very similar to this, that she trusted people and they took advantage of her, and she was fucking the smartest girl, the most pretty girl, and she wanted to be my friend. She cuts this thing, and you're like, I don't see that in her performance when she's trying to correct these behaviors or make these men feel like the pieces of shit that they are. It's just kind of, I don't know.
I think the problem is that it's not a big, like, her personality before that is just hunched over and very just like, no, I don't want to. I want to go home. So it's just like, this flip of the switch that happens isn't as shocking, and
well,
like they do their best to try to make it shocking, but it's really just like,
it's not the shock, right? Since when the audience is in on her being able to flip, and that the gimmick of catching them off guard and just dunking on them, I just think it's not played correctly. Like, there's no intensity there. Like, I want her, like, it doesn't seem like, it's more like a finger wagging, like, oh, I told you not to do this, you're being a bad boy. It's not like, hey, you're fucking garbage, you're human garbage, and people like you they get a pass, they get no consequences. Because when she later on, she goes to the dean of the school at the time and just like, hey, I wanted to let you know this guy Al Monroe, he's went to Paris, he met his wife, they're going to get married, and he's doing fine. But the girl's life that he fucking ruined, and there's no one's gonna remember her. And I'm the only one that remembers her. I carry her ghost. Even her mom doesn't want me to bring it up anymore. Like, this crushed this character. She's not angry enough for me. She's not vengeful enough for me. She's just kind of lecturing these guys, and I'm like, that's not enough. I wanted more from her. And then when she's finally ready to do more, you get towards the end of the movie, but I don't know. I don't think she wants it bad enough, or movie didn't tell me like, hey, she's tired, man. She can't do this anymore. and she's going to go all out. It's not working. I don't know, but that was my big overall problem, and it happens again at the end where I'm just like, why is this being played for comedy? Like, I don't think it's not meant to be played for comedy, but I didn't feel the tension.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there's no stakes. I don't know. It was really bothersome for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't argue there because it isn't just, I don't know. It's like after you know the gimmick, you're just kind of like, okay.
And then we'll get into the part. So Cassie's back at her coffee shop, and then this tall, dorky guy, Ryan, comes in, and he's like, "I know you, right?" And he's like, "Do you?" And she's just being like real poor customer service, in my opinion.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, you're not going there for the customer service. You go there because she's too fucking cool to deal with.
Yeah, she's almost.
God,
too
I hope the fucking cool one doesn't do my coffee because it's probably gonna suck anyway.
I hope the girl from the Orange is the Black. I hope she does my thing. Oh shit, she's spitting it.
So they all spit here. What the fuck?
It should be called Spittles. So he goes in there and he's like, "Oh, it's you," and she's like, "Oh, you don't remember?" And Al and all those guys, and I was in that class. You were in the class. I actually liked you. It's a real awkward, like, do you even talk to girls, you fucking dork? Well, and she's just like,
Here's the issue is that, so yeah, he asked her, she spits in his coffee, and he's just like, oh, and then he asks her out. He's like, I haven't seen you, and I think it was 7 years. I haven't seen you in 7 years. You dropped out of school suddenly.
I wonder why.
I'm going to pretend I don't know why, even though I seem to have, never forgotten you. And I'm going to just, on the fly, ask you out. And I was just like, okay. So, obviously, Ryan here is going to be, he's going to be our glimmer of hope. Okay, everyone? Wait. He's our glimmer of fucking hope. No, I'm going to ruin him instantly, Kevin.
He's the lighthouse in the storm. Cassie mate. Yeah. Dustin, she might have a reason to not.
Exactly. He's our glimmer of fucking hope. We're going to build this relationship. We're going to have him wronged because he does seem like a very woke, caring individual, only to have it come crashing down and be the catalyst for the end of our movie.
He seemed like a dipshit to me.
Utterly predictable because no one in their right fucking mind runs into someone they haven't seen in 7 years and says, do you want to go on a date with me? No. You say, hey, do you want to catch up? Maybe over here at this table over coffee, since we both seem to be in a coffee shop and your customer service is rather poor. Just, there's a million other ways to approach this of like, rather than just being, date me. Do you want to date me? Date me. Come at me, bro, date me.
So,
it's just...
yeah, if you guys haven't, gleaned the whole thing of the show we do, there's going to be spoilers for this. Do you have any?
You told them the whole movie already.
I did, but I didn't really get into the skinny, right?
What the fuck? You said that? No, you did.
I probably did. No one knows names. Just fast forward.
Someone's gonna go back and be like, "Yeah, right here at the fucking 28 mark."
You literally said, "Yeah,
just
dude."
Fucking blitzes to the end and does her whole character motivation.
So, Dustin, if you are going to med school and you have a crush on a girl and you're kind of have the balls to ask her out 7 years later if you ever saw her again, and then all of a sudden she stopped going to school and dropped out, and your best buddy like raped her friend and caused her to kill herself,
and there was a lawsuit, and
it was a big kerfuffle,
huge cover up, and everyone seems to know about it in the class.
Would you ask the girl's best friend that died from the rape from your buddy out at a coffee shop and go, hey, I remember you. Did your friend get raped and you disappeared and she killed herself and I haven't seen you for 7 years? I'm awkward and stupid. I do pediatrics now, but keep me away from the kids.
That was so long ago, Kevin. Of course I would. We've moved on. We've grown up. I drink spit in my coffee now. Like, that was the weirdest show of like,
well, I guess we'll see Paris Hilton later in a fucking disco pharmacy.
And I was like, is this funny? I've never even heard this song. You're telling me there's two individuals and they happen to found each other that both know the words to the song?
What's going on, Ohio? What kind of people you breeding out there?
Yeah, Ohio. Why the fuck you playing Paris Hilton in a pharmacy? Huh?
That was one
And
cool
Kevin,
ass pharmacy.
what were they getting at the pharmacy?
They're just opening up
substance.
chips and not paying for them.
Yeah, no, clearly they were there for, I don't know, a prescription, possibly hemorrhoid cream, I assume, for him. Maybe some
I'd say
foot ointment for her. I don't know.
He was picking up a
Over-the-counter.
tube of Funny Be Gone.
He was just like, don't
And
look
then
at my toes. I mean, God knows I haven't seen him. I'm a giant. Let's make this tall joke a lot. I was like,
And then he OD'd on his Funny Be Gone. And I was like, listen, his gimmick of being sarcastic and kind of like awkward, you can't do what she's doing because now you're the same voice.
Yeah.
And that they're on a date. He just rambles and she just laughs and goes, yeah. And then
the
gives
thing
him
is like, I'm a fan of his stand-up, and that's his stand-up. They just let him do his stand-up. And I was
awful.
like, this does not work.
I don't have enough C batteries and D batteries to throw at him on stage.
He's just like, we search people before they come in.
Not
for
everywhere,
this reason,
buddy.
because
Not everywhere.
But
that's
yeah,
right. I'm going in earlier and I'm putting him in a bag and I'm hiding him in the toilet. Then I'm going to quote, go to the bathroom, come back. And that's right. He's getting knocked the fuck out. That's what you call a surprise ending.
Yeah, that's a twist no one saw. So you go the day before they just let you in. Yeah, usually they don't even give a fuck.
Oh, they just leave the doors open.
Batteries in a sandwich bag and put it in the toilet. Oh yeah. You got to flush a couple times out where the water level's not fucked up, but you get it.
Yeah, you tape them to the top. I mean, have you ever thrown batteries?
They're batteries. They're not going to stay at the top. They're
They'll
going to
stay. You gotta want it.
What tape are you using? That's porcelain you're taping it to.
I'm using the good tape.
What good tape? Are you using Gorilla Tape? And then you're gonna rip the bag. All the batteries.
Hey, listen, dude.
Now you're fishing batteries out of a scummy fucking nightclub toilet.
I don't care. I'll put turds on it. So if it cranks him in the eye, he's gonna be like, "Oh, great! Now I really gotta go."
Pink eye.
Make better jokes.
Doo-doo eye. All right, to each their own. Okay, I said I enjoyed it. I didn't say Kevin enjoyed his comedy.
Hey, I'm funnier than that guy. Hey, listen, everyone. I just pitched
funnier than that guy.
I just pitched dad bodies as a strippers in gang fights. That's hilarious. Everyone would watch that for an hour and 30 minutes. Not this guy stand up.
No, we wouldn't. Shut up.
That's fair. Fine. If it was on streaming, you would.
I wouldn't even know it. I just click it and it'd be over in a half an hour.
20 minutes before you realize it was hilarious.
Based on the clicks, not the follow through.
Whatever.
So Ryan has made his move and been denied by Cassie because she's just not ready to love.
You don't want happiness, Dustin. She's angry.
And then maybe at this point, then fucking I don't know, someone does something, and she starts thinking about the gang or whatever. He's persistent. He mentions all the names and it starts triggering all these memories like even harder. So she starts like internet creeping on like, Al, oh, he's getting married. She's like, I thought that motherfucker left the country. So she's been dealing with it because he's been removed. Oh yeah, he's coming back here for the wedding. Oh, fucking evil eye, right? She got the Kobe death stare. Yeah. She's like, fuck that guy. And you're like, then I was like, okay, this movie ends with her fucking wearing his fucking face. That's how this has to end. That would be great. His face is annoying too.
Oh, big time. That's like her mortal enemy, right? Because she's literally ruined her life. Just took in her best friend that was literally a promising young woman.
Yeah. I mean, they both were.
Yeah, they very much so.
But so, this Ryan guy, he convinces her to go on a date. And they have fun. They're in a shitty diner. He's telling shitty jokes about
shitty jokes.
Just very loud too.
Just pulling things out of orifices and medical school. Am I right, everybody?
Yeah, dude. Trying to fucking have a good meal and not hear about skeleton in a vagina. Well, you're about to fucking regret coming to this diner.
We all saw Flatliners, the remake. we've seen enough terrible shit, all right?
This should have been enough, okay? And then they're just walking, and everything
I
seems
mean,
fine.
you can fast forward this, dude, where
No. This is important. This is actually important, okay?
she
And
vandalizes the
then,
streets of Ohio.
are you talking about the trap? No. God,
Bothered me.
fuck.
I was
I
like,
mean,
dude,
I was just like,
that's
man,
like,
there are no repercussions for her actions. Why isn't she doing more? But no. He's like, oh, look at that. We happened to walk to my apartment. And I was just like, wow, movie, are you still going to try to make me believe that this is an okay guy? Are you, like, seriously gonna try that?
listen, I don't, and I will never claim to understand or the annoyance and pain of being a woman and constantly just having dudes going, can I have sex with you? And trying every scumbag trick in the book. But when then this guy did it, I was like, bro, was this like the first date? Like, are you trying to fucking bang on the first date? Dude, like,
Yeah.
is she that kind of guy? Like, where did you pick her up at?
7 years, Kevin.
Yeah. And I was just like, this
Oh,
guy.
I'm sorry. I misread this. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Horribly.
Because she didn't try to grab your dick, dude. That's how you didn't miss. She's literally kept her distance. Her hands are in her fucking pocket. She's laughing at your stupid jokes, and she's giving you a
keeping you in
little bit.
public spaces, walking
Yeah,
down an open street. Like, I was like, what did you misread exactly? Everything? Everything? Were you on the assumption page and you were like, duh, duh, duh.
Like, how do women even leave the fucking house and just about everybody
that's what
just
this movie is telling us,
after her?
Yeah. They can't. So things don't go well with Ryan for just like a minute.
She blames herself though, right? You know?
Yeah, she blames herself. She's just like, she shows up at his job. This part was very confusing. He was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you at my place of work? I work here. I didn't tell you where I work. I mean, I probably mentioned it like 19 times when we talked, but then like, what are you doing here? You're not a child." And she's just like, "I need to go like slow. We need to take this slow." And then he makes a joke about a kid having leukemia, which I was like, was that funny? I don't know.
It wasn't funny. This dude's not funny.
I was like, he's a fucking seat away from you. How did he not hear you and be like, what? I have leukemia? And he's like, nah, I was trying to set up a bad joke, kid, in your fucking room.
I'm just trying to get laid, kid. Everything a guy says.
Trying to get laid. And then the dad's just like, we're not coming here anymore, and I'd like to talk to someone in administration about you.
We'll allow it. Carry on, movie.
We'll allow it. We don't want to damage his career. He's got a promising fucking acting career ahead of him, playing a creeper. So that was administration. I assume this is how they talk. But anyway, so yeah, she's just like, I gotta take it slow, and she kind of does she lay off for a minute? No, she doesn't. She goes harder in the paint because then that's when he mentions like the people, and she does the stalking, and she decides to look up because he's like, oh yeah, Madison, you remember Madison, you were like best friends with her, and she's like, no, I don't really say that, not Madison.
Yeah, good old Madison. She looks like the girl from Community. Remember her?
You remember her? She's kind of in a lot of shit now. It's a little bit annoying. She seems
almost too much. Almost too much.
She has that Orange is the New Black connection too. Do we have a lot of Orange is the New Black producers on this or something? Because there's like several people that were in that were also in Glow. That just they're all in this movie somehow.
Did you ever see Glow?
Glow, yeah, she's in that, and she brought over Al Monroe. He was in Glow as well. So it's just a lot of little connections here. Anyway, so she's like, time to reach out to Madison. Time to play the part, play the role. And she gets ready. She meets Madison in some scummy Ohio hotel.
It was pretty nice.
No, it was not. It looked like.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you haven't been to Ohio. That was top notch for Ohio, but scummy. Dude, sure was the champagne and the ginger ale.
You got to get your boot off Ohio for a second. All right.
Never. You let the fucking boot off, that's when they get wild. Okay, Kevin, you got to keep it down there, otherwise we're gonna burn this fucking country down. Ohio starts seeping into everything. No, that's all right. It's actually got a horrible system of racism. That's really the thing that's fucking it up. But that's neither here nor there right now. She pours herself some ginger ale.
I swear to God, Dottie, this fucking guy brings up Ohio one more fucking time.
He sits on, that's a birthplace of Superman. Yeah, whatever. And every other hack fucking comic book writer says. The ginger ale and the champagne don't look anything alike.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Yeah, they kind of do. Unless you look at them and go.
You mean sparkling wine, Dustin? Champagne's only made in Champagne. Okay?
That she called it champagne. She literally said it.
Listen, I'm educating you on it because you're running around like an animal calling everything champagne.
Repeating what the movie told me.
The movie don't know nothing, all right? I said I'm educating you, and you're spreading false truths.
Sparkling wine. She's drinking sparkling wine and calling it champagne. Okay? I don't know where Kevin got the champagne knowledge / sparkling wine. It's pretty fucking annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe you should.
I should lie. It's not annoying. Thank you for educating all of us, Kevin.
I
feel like a better human being now.
I've literally said you're welcome. You can't carry on.
Fair enough. back to fucking Rude Town really quick. So
Ohio? Full circle, everyone. There we go.
So Cassie proceeds to get Madison very drunk. Very drunk.
Because Madison thinks she's drinking the little bit of the bubbly as well.
Yeah.
But
it's girls' night. Get away from the kids.
Cassie's playing Oculus Rift chest here. Mm-hmm. she's five moves. What's her nuts from Community's playing checkers. This girl's
drunk
split.
Checkers where you only have half the board set up. In fact, it's not even checkers. You're just naked on the floor.
Splitting atoms.
Yeah. And then boom. Cassie drops some shit. She's like, hey, do you remember why I left? Because, she's obviously bringing up college a lot. College. That was her.
It's the one thing that all these people share. If they didn't go to the same, you would never talk to them. It's kind of like real life where you're like, I went to school or work with these people, and if we don't have that one common denominator, we don't fucking talk.
Yeah, it's like for some people, it's very much like the high school thing. Like, we just talk about high school because that's all we haven't talked since then. So
you wake up, you're 40, and you realize you don't have any friends.
Do people just listen to me and wait for me to shut the fuck up? They fucking do.
Turns off podcast.
Fucking, these kids are just like, are you done now, Dad? We got a big day ahead of us.
Well, that's why people have kids, so they can at least have someone listen to their shit because their friends are gone.
Let me tell you about high school, you little shit. They're just like, oh God, not again. Is he drinking? Is he day drinking? Fuck.
Looks like some Mountain Dew pissed to me.
Oh man, I thought we locked up the code red. Oh fuck, you got into it. Oh shit. No. So Cassie asks her, like, do you remember why I left school? And Madison is like, oh, it was so long ago, like who even remembers back then, even though we've been talking about it for like 2 hours. And she's just like, you remember Nina? Remember what happened to Nina? And she basically breaks down the betrayal of Madison, that she didn't believe or support Nina when she came and said this happened to her, even though she was, apparently a pretty close witness to it, or at least had some knowledge of it, and chose not to believe Nina, not to support Nina. So the trio was torn apart.
Yeah, she's supporting her squad.
Yeah,
which was really the dudes.
Yeah, exactly. And she was just
cool
like,
kids.
And she just kind of makes a lot of excuses. She makes a lot of excuses for Al, for herself, for the culture that they were in, of just like, well, that's just how it was, like, what would you have me do? Like, and then Cassie's like, it's a shame. I had hoped you would have a different opinion now. Yeah. And I absolutely love this part of the movie, even though they fucking destroyed it later on. She walks over to a guy at a bar, and she says, that's the girl. And the guy's like, "You sure about this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, here's the room number." Gives him a key and leaves. And then the next time we see Madison, she's blowing up Cassie's phone with a bunch of missed calls of like, "Hey, a little concerned," and each one's a little more frantic, a little more panicked. Of like, "Hey, yeah, no, nothing happened between me and that guy, right? Like, he didn't do anything to me." And like, just more and more concern every time. And Cassie's just like, "Ha ha ha, gotcha." And that I felt was like an appropriate, yeah, I assume. Uh, I felt was like an appropriate revenge that fit the crime in a way, of like the social crime, if you want to like.
Well, yeah. So, like, you did contribute. You were part of the problem. While you didn't do the act, you're guilty by association. Now I'm going to make you have that feeling.
Well,
Good
and
luck.
because you haven't learned or changed.
Exactly. So
I
this is
gave
all.
you a chance. I tested your opinion. Your opinion remains unchanged. So here you go. I will forcefully change it.
I will say this is where the revenge part of the movie kind of kicks in.
Yeah.
So I believe, which kind of, it's like you don't really get a lot of the character, the motivation, anything in the first half of the movie. It's kind of perplexing of like even really why it's there, just because we had to start somewhere, I guess. Whereas like it's almost like a different movie in a small way because, like I said, I didn't really get the evolution of the revenge on the creeper guys to getting to the core bad guy. Like she's gonna knock all these adversaries out the box in some sort of special way. That's what I was getting excited for. I was like, here we go. Now she's gonna show everyone that she has a particular set of skills.
Yeah. But she doesn't.
She doesn't. No, it doesn't happen at all.
So, and I think at this point, doesn't she?
This is where she goes for the dean next.
Oh, she goes for the dean. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So then, working. Go for it.
So she starts creeping on this school, and you see these two preteens, and she's like, "Hey, do you guys know where I can go to this location? There's this diner. I'm supposed to be working on this video." And one of the girls like, "Yeah, I can help you." And she's like, "Yeah, so like wet dreams, pasty shorts."
No, it was wet dream. Yeah, it was wet. Yeah. The band was Wet Dream.
Wet dreams, and she's like,
"Oh
my god,
it was K-pop."
I you can only hope it was. And now, because it was K-pop, be like Apple Wet Dream or something, just something random. Where you're like, I think I know what they're trying to do here. Apple's fucking me up though. Why did they do that? So she's like, "Oh my god, I'm a huge fan." She's like, "Well, I'm kind of like makeup and costume or whatever, wardrobe on that video or their video." She's like, "No, you shut up." She's like, I just need help. I'm from out of town." She's like, "No. Okay, listen, here's the thing. No phones though. I see you're like a super fan. It could really get me in trouble." So she's just totally
like, put a piece of paper behind your clear plastic phone case. Like, ugh. Who does that?
Like, if she would have just like showed the Wet Dreams tattoo on her neck, I'd been like, damn, 18 with neck tats. But
you're legit.
Yeah, I believe it. I could see it. So they they agree. She's like, "No, you know what? I'm going to show you where it's at. And you know what? You could even take my phone. Just drop me off at the thing. We're going to do a video. Oh my God, LOL, lols, Pinterest."
Yeah, it's just like, wow, it was incredibly easy to get this teenage girl in the car. No one's just like Kid Basic, like regardless of her gender, like just Kid Basic, you should have told your child not to get in the car.
At least give her candy.
Well, I mean, it was very fitting that she was chewing on candy and stuff, but it was just like, wow, someone has not prepared you for the world, the cold, harsh, cruel world.
So like, is this like a pedo training 101? Did she like research the daughter? How does she?
A lot of ideas, and
but like, how did she know that the daughter loves wet dreams? Is that just like a thing that is just universally known? Yeah, well, that's true. She did say that she has those skills. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and she said, I actually run the fan page for the blah blah blah, which wouldn't be hard to connect her to because she's probably like,
who has fan pages now? That's why we got Tumblr. Am I right, everyone on Tumblr?
She said the fan Twitter page.
Twitter? Yeah. Everybody on
trust me,
Twitter?
There's a lot of those fuckers that do that shit. This one's dedicated to this guy in this movie. I'm shipping him with this fucker over here. That's a separate Twitter.
And then
And
Cassie
you're just like,
rolls her eyes and she's like, I wore the glasses just like Superman because I'm from Ohio. Boom, connection.
that was not the connection.
Total connection. So then we see the dean's office and she's like, she goes in there. She's like, hey, I'd like to, it's Connie Britton from Nashville. And a bunch of other
Everyone's
stuff
just
that
like,
everybody
oh,
else.
Nashville, oh.
Fucking Nashville. They kill her in Nashville, everyone. Ruined it.
Jesus criminy,
Yeah, fuck
man.
that. But it also brings the family together. So it's fine. Couple great songs on there. If you're into like pop country, you'll find something to like.
This is your
Anyway,
moment. Just enjoy it and go with it.
so she's in there. She's like, "Hi, my name's." She gives her like a fake name or something.
Oh no, she gives her real name.
Did she? I must
Yeah,
have missed it.
she's like, I'm looking at continuing. Like she straight up tells her, I'm looking to continue. I
Continue
dropped
my
out.
education. I dropped out. What brings you back? She's like, this is just a poignant time in my life. I don't want to reconnect and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and then she just slowly starts bringing up the good old days. Hey, remember Al Monroe? Hey, you remember Nina? She's like, oh, it doesn't ring a bell. Well, Al's this, and this now. And Nina, she's like, you looked the other way when they came to you for help. So she just starts laying into her. She's like, here's a fucking class on the flashback, baby.
And then the dean, I would just want to touch on this real quick. The dean gives the classic line of, I didn't want to ruin a young man's life.
Oh, it's really just, yeah, but it's okay that this girl's life was ruined. So it's very like, the girl power is just, and you figure if this dude is a trust fund baby, maybe he had an edge. If parents donate to the school, who knows? But they don't really even bother with that. It's more of like, this guy is a piece of shit. And just how it is. Guys get stuck up for all the time, whatever.
Yeah, defend the guys, sacrifice the women. It's
exactly.
Just, all through
and
history.
It's really kind of like, yeah, dude, like, wouldn't you be more inclined to believe the female? You're a female, you know how it goes. So to reiterate the fact and the importance and just that anyone can be a victim at any time, and no matter what you do, it could happen to you. She does the little bait and switch with the daughter. And she kind of sets it up, and I was like, yeah, man, she just pulled a Saw on your daughter. She's in a fucking basement somewhere. When she wakes up, she's going to be chained to a pipe and shit. She's like, I left her at a diner. And
no. First she tells her, I took her to the same room that Nina reported to you.
Yeah, why won't you remember?
Some very nice boys are in that room right now. I did see a bottle of vodka. So, yeah, so it basically just sets it up like she
a reenactment in a way.
Like she took your daughter and gave her to some boys, and then she's like, I'm sure they're all trustworthy. Mm-hmm. And the dean flips out. She's like, tell me where my fucking daughter is. And she's like, I already told you. The same room Nina was in. So she's like, so fucking dig deep and think. And the dean just starts yelling and freaking out. And then she's standing up, shouting at her. And then we do a classic Cassie move where she just stares her down. Is this like, are you done?
So here's the thing.
Dustin, and it deflated the scene. Go ahead.
This is some of the things I did like about the movie. I liked a lot of the visual composition.
Yeah.
They're very cognizant of the balance of lighting everything up, of the symmetry in the movie, of like just really good camera positioning. I like that. There's things visually that I like they do with Cassie. I love her stare, her "Are you fucking done yet?" Because now, no matter what you do, no matter what your retort is, I'm still in control. I like Cassie because she's smart. I like her because when she stops being a victim or stops being just kind of in her own head by, her fucking pain and guilt and stuff like that, of just all these emotions, like she's pretty formidable. She's a smart woman. Like she's a smart, powerful character. And when but she gets a little too big for her britches too quickly, but that's fine. I like her and I like her performance that, what's her nuts does. I'm sorry, I forget her name.
Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah. She does a great job. And I like the part where the dean stands up and you kind of cut to the lobby and you can hear the vocal tone change of her demanding to almost begging. Little things like that I found very enjoyable. I don't know.
This scene to me was a little disconjointed because there's just like, okay, like we have the good setup, but then the yelling to like switch out to it because it's like the receptionist acknowledges there's yelling, but the young lady that is sitting there kind of that should be overhearing this
Well, I
conversation
think it came off more
is
muffled.
just
I didn't really take it that the
yeah.
characters could hear. I could think like there's an uncomfortable conversation happening in that room, and it's kind of emitting outside the walls. That's what it felt like to me. It wasn't more of like, oh my god, did I just hear what I thought I heard? It was more of like that's what I how I took it. But I like the transition of going outside, giving them a chance to breathe, and then going back in when the demanding and the tone changed, I guess.
Yeah, but for the stare, it's like it deflated me because we're so far away from her, you
Yeah.
know? Like I needed it just to kind
Well,
of
there's
slam in on her more to get
well,
that full
I
intensity.
completely agree because I think when she's doing the promo on McLovin, I think there's times they should have punched in on her and just to kind of see because she could sell it well in her face, like she
Yeah.
emotes well, and I think it was just a missed opportunity. As I give it one compliment to take it away, I think if you would have like let trust in her to kind of hold that stare, trust in her to hold that scene. Because even when she's walking with the chili dog and the construction guys, she gives them
Oh,
that fucking dose, that death stare. Like
yeah.
let's revel in that. Let's show that she's not to be fucked with. Push her to a little to the left, and if she doesn't want to go, she'll take your fucking hand off. That's what I kind of really wanted to see a little bit more of.
Yeah. So, and then yeah, then it's revealed she's just like when the dean's like, you know, I'm sorry, like what would you have had me do and blah 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 blah. And she's just like, what do you want me to say? And that's all she wants. She just wants her to say she was wrong essentially. And it's not it's very
Like own your behavior.
anticlimactic in a way because she doesn't do a great job of it, the dean. And then she's just like, what do you think I am? Some sort of she's like, you have far more trust in boys than I do because I left her at a diner. But you know, you might want to go pick her up because she's expecting this band to show up and they're never going to show up. And she's like, she's not very bright either. So,
Yeah.
but she's like very pretty though, very pretty.
Yeah.
And then she's just out. But then she is just zoning out because I'm sure that was just like it was a big gamble. I'll say that. Like it was a
It was a
big
big gamble.
gamble. You
But
know,
was
she
it too
kidnapped a
risky?
child in a
Yeah,
way.
exactly. You're involving children. Is it the child at fault here? It's mostly
Yeah.
the dean, but you used her to prove a point. I agree. I liked it, but it didn't hit hard on the way out. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There should have been a little extra something. Not the Saul, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this scene happens, which makes absolutely no fucking sense because this is a very empty four-way road. We have
Oh,
one
dude,
car sitting in one stop sign,
I didn't
sitting
get
there forever watching them film.
I didn't get this either.
Yeah, and then you have her just with her head down at the steering wheel at a stop sign. Apparently, we don't know that yet because there's just someone honking at her saying, "Why the fuck are you in the fucking road?" and just going off on her. I was like, "The road's empty. Just drive the fuck around her." Like
And
you're
then
in
you
an
see the
empty ass
road. He
back
could have
road.
just drove around her.
Oh, he could drove around her 3 times and flipped to the bird, fucking pissed out the window, and been like, "Whoa, fucking Ohio," and then just drove off, and then she would have been like, "Honk honk Bengals," and that's it, you know. But instead, he pulls up alongside her, also blocking the road, and is just like, "I'm fucking talking to you," blah 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 blah. She gets out, ignores him, gets a tire iron. He just sits there watching her smash all of his lights, his
Drive
windshield.
away, dude.
Yeah, after she hit one light, I'm out. Like, I'm like, this is regrettable. I'm not sitting there going like, oh yeah, smash the shit on my windshield.
Oh, I
She
don't
makes
think
no
she'll come around.
acknowledgement.
Oh, she came
She's definitely
around.
not gonna. She's circling. She's circling. What do I do? What do I do? And it just bothered me that the other car sat there the entire time too. I was like, what the fuck? Why did you get that in the shot? So now she's found a release for her tension, her gamble.
Yeah, for half a second, dude, I thought she was just gonna like club him in the head.
Yeah, or something. I mean, yeah, again though, but she hasn't done anything actually physically violent towards anyone. So it's like,
But that's what I thought, though. Like I thought, like you
yeah,
said,
it
like
keeps building
her
up
build,
for that. You're like,
right?
do it,
Yes,
just
yes,
do it. The
yes.
build up is killing me.
Fuck
So
something up.
fuck it up. Not just a light. Like I was like, it was so just safe. It was just like, well, we can't really damage this car, so hit the lights, hit the windshield, done. You know. I was just like, no, like fucking drag the sharp end of that around the fucking side and call it a
through
day.
his skull.
Something, you know. And then I think at this point, when does she see the? Is it after the lawyer that she goes and she gets caught by what's his face, or is this when she starts falling in
Oh,
love?
this is the or she flakes on Ryan, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So she's oh yeah, she's late. She gets home late, and he's just like, well, we still have time for the movie. She's like, you just caught me in a lie, and I said I'm like going through some shit, and you're just like, let's get to the movie.
yeah, he's
And
really
again, I was
pressing
just
it. I'm
like,
like,
what the
dude, read the
fuck?
room, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I was just like, well, the fact that she missed the fucking date and she's dressed bizarre compared to what you normally see her as, I'd kind of be like, are you okay? Do you want to like talk or something? I want to be like, come on, the movie. We gotta
Hey,
get good seats.
hey,
This is
man,
pre-COVID. We could sit anywhere we want, next to anyone we want.
this
Woo!
John Cena Bumblebee movie ain't gonna watch itself.
Come on. You can't act. If you see him on Wipeout, it's fucking real bad. I mean, he
Yeah, he's
fucking
not
has
that
to lift
bad.
his
Come
shirt to
on,
sell
get
it.
off him,
It's
dude.
pretty bad.
That's
He's pretty
it's not
bad.
that bad.
He's getting slightly better, but it's not good.
Come
It's
on,
not good, man.
their banter made me laugh once or twice.
Once or twice, exactly. It was the not and written shit. That's
Hey, dude,
ridiculous.
it's for kids and like families. Calm
It's
down.
not for kids. They fucking censor constantly every episode. You know what? We're not going to discuss that. You are not a Wipeout connoisseur, sir.
I'll
Okay, you did
slap.
not
I
watch
was
the Australian Wipeout. I did. Okay.
trying to big time me on some Wipeout.
Oh yeah, I know. I will definitely big time you on some fucking Wipeout. I would. OG fan right here.
Oh,
Right.
jeez.
Watch them all on Hulu. That was the only thing to watch on Hulu. You're like, it's either this or nothing. So I'm watching Wipeout and all of them. Anyway, yeah, he doesn't read the room. She's just like, listen, I don't want to go on a date with you right now. I just had a big day. It was heavy.
I gotta go to Jordan Green, Al's lawyer from back in the day, the guy that got him off the case.
No, not yet. That's right after this.
Oh,
This is what, because you're right. This is where she goes out. She's at a club. This is when she's with the Paul guy from the beginning, and he's taking her home, and again, this is he's being notoriously cheap. He won't even pay for the ride share. He's just like, "Are you good to walk? It's only a couple blocks." Like he's just like, "I'm not paying."
it's surge prices.
Yeah, I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, then Ryan crosses them in the parking lot.
Yeah,
He's like
going to the only shitty club that has like 2 people in it, and he's just like, I was meeting some friends. I was like, what friends? What
Do they
friends?
work
It's
there?
a dead club. Yeah, he's the other guy that dropped out of the class. You know, he was real heartbroken about Nina as well. But I won't remember that until later. You know, it was just like, yeah, I was like, why would he be there? It definitely doesn't seem like his scene. He's dressed like a shitbag still for his day.
Like if he was going to like a Hooters or something, or like an Applebee's, he looked like he was going to
Or like a shitty hot dog diner next to it or something.
shitty
Yeah.
Applebee's.
I mean,
Kind of a
that's redundant. I didn't say shitty Applebee's. So
boop,
that's,
boop, boop.
all Applebee's are shitty, and they all give you the shit. So
Everyone got it.
all right.
Everyone.
I just wanted to say it. I needed to say it. Okay. Well, yeah. So then she has to sober up and, you know, try to be like, Ryan, this isn't what it looks like. And he's just like, you know what? Just don't. Fucking don't. I'm going to go in there and be the 7th person in that bar right now. Okay. And then the Paul guy's like, wait, are you not intoxicated? Like, that's the smartest thing he can say, is just like, I thought you were drunk. And then she kind of goes off on him. She's like, Paul, blah, 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 blah. You're not exactly pulling in pussy. And he's just like, whoa, hey, you're that psycho Jerry talked about. And then that's when she does the ball promo of like, there's a woman out there with scissors. Watch out, Paul. And he's just like, why do you got to ruin everything? And then he runs away like that. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
I know, dude. That's what I'm saying. The movie has these weird comedic elements, and I'm
aren't
like,
funny though, because I'm like, that's not appropriate.
But it's
for the
not.
scene.
It's not her. she's
Yeah.
the only one that doesn't get to be funny, but we have all these other like, predator guys. I get it. They're comedians. They could be anyone could be a predator, everybody. But it comes off
Special
weird. It's
edition.
like it's a different movie when they do that. And I don't
Yeah.
think I see what you're trying to do. I just don't think it came off
Well, and there's a lot of attempts
correctly.
at comedy, but it's like you said in the beginning, it's just like what
Her
that's a weird tone. Like we're
right.
going with like a
Yeah.
kind of a dark revenge like story here, and then like the mom and dad's house is like really just like fucking goofballs. It's just like what the fuck? Why are we even seeing this and focusing on this? Like what the hell? And then like all this other, it's just like I don't know. It was just like okay, like I just kind of like let it roll off my back because I was like, all right, I'm not laughing. Whatever. Let's just
Movie's
move
like,
on.
thanks, dude. Fuck you.
It's like all right, well, I'm gonna try like 7 or 8 more times. And then that's when she's like, well, fucking knuckle up. I'm going for the lawyer now. And she shows up at his house, and it's played by Doc Ock from The Good Spider-Man.
He sucks in this.
Well, he's kind of at that point of his career where he just doesn't really. He just kind of shows up, man. He's not.
I believed it when I saw his
He's
performance.
not pouring any heart into nothing. He's given up on those days. He's just like, I've done all the shit. I didn't get the Oscars. I'm fucking over it.
If it wasn't for Mulligan in this scene, I was like, is there any tension? Is there any passion? Is there any like
different movie?
Is there any feeling about
And why?
recounting this moment and having pity and remorse?
What was up with his furniture? I was like, no,
it was
a man
balanced.
of your size and age is not fucking getting some fucking paper thin, modern, chic fucking furniture. What the fuck was that?
They were framed nicely
in Ohio.
They were framed nicely. They had the black little flower pots behind them, and the window in the middle, the black. Everyone was centered up. They did it on both sides. I liked it. It was visual. It was visually nice to look at, even though it was it was lit kind of poor, but whatever.
No, it was lit very poorly, this scene. And it just, again, I didn't believe that he would own any of that furniture, but that's fine. So he answers the door, and she's just like, hey, so-and-so. And he's just like, and he just instantly is just like, you're here to, yeah.
You're here to punish me from the act of
and no one can dodge the piper. You're here to make me pay. And like he just instantly calls it out the front door, and then continues when they get into the living room.
No, dude, I'm here with your Grubhub order. What the fuck's your problem?
She's like, it wasn't very. She's like, don't fuck up my rating, dude. Don't fuck up my rating.
There's no straws. Enjoy.
They're like, what did Uber Eats buy us too? Shit. And then she's just like, you weren't that hard to find. Like I called your office, they gave me the address. He's like, yeah, I told them just like YOLO, go ahead. Like he's just been waiting for it. He's just waiting
for the Reaper.
He's like, I don't sleep anymore.
Well, why did you go to these people to make a fucking amends, dude? Like you knew who they were. You could have went to the mother and been like, I'm so sorry for happening to your daughter. I'm so sorry I had anything to do with that piece of shit. Continue to walk this planet as a free man with no conscience, just getting away with what he did. I'm so sorry you lost your friend. You know what I mean? I'm going to try not to eat a gun. But I was like, I can't sleep. Well, dude, I lost my fucking best friend that was, a fucking promising young lad, and she's gone, and fuck you, and this you suck in this scene, and maybe you're not the best Doc Ock, and this you don't buy this furniture to keep you young, because fuck you.
He's just like, I gave up on that. Yeah, so basically just to cut through this scene, he lays out that, yes, he remembers Nina, which is important to her, because usually no one ever remembers. He's like, I don't know her last name. I hope that just knowing her name is enough. He's like, I remember what I did. I had a nervous breakdown for it. I was given fucking bonuses to get cases dropped like that and stuff. And he lays out basically this environment of intimidation, and he lays out how easy it is to get cases like this dismissed because all they need is one drunken photo of a woman at a party, and then boom. And he just very awkwardly like cries on her lap, and she's just like, I forgive you. Go to sleep now. And I was like,
because I'm going to send a motherfucker in here to make you go to sleep.
Which is great. She walks out. She seems, much like the other scene for me, it's a very like anticlimactic scene for her where she's just like, oh, that didn't go.
Yeah, but then she's got a
Like,
soccer
can't.
hooligan posted up by her car.
Oh my God. And I wanted that soccer hooligan to walk. I just wanted him to just straight the minute he saw her walk towards her, like psych me out. Like that was someone else that sent him to get revenge on her and then just beeline it into that fucking house. And then that's it. And just shut the door. And I was like, oh, please do it.
Well, that would have been tremendous. But now she's not going down that road.
No,
I was waiting for like
not.
a fucking rack focus shot of like some leather gloves going on his hand, and he creases them in to get him into his fucking separations. He's about to fucking beat some dude's ass, probably to death.
Look is tremendous.
He's got some shitty fucking watch, fake fucking Rolex looking. Dude,
he looks pissed to be there. He doesn't look like he likes her, like dealing with her.
He looks pissed the sun's out. Like,
no, for sure. I related to this man in a heartbeat. I was just like, oh, this man's seen some fucking life. He's done some living, and he's not happy about it.
But it's great. Like that moment, like that's what I'm saying. This movie does stuff that I like. I just wish it would have done the overall thing that I was wanting it to do, but it was kind of like, yeah, we're not really here for that. Because Cassie's demeanor, she's not sorrowful. She's real business. When she walks up to him, he's like, I still get paid, right? And she's like, yeah. And she sits in the car. And like,
do I go in now? And she's like, no. He's like, but I get paid. She's like, yeah. He's like,
and that's it. And I was like, she's like in bad bitch mode where she's like, I'm like, dude, she's a fucking boss right now. And I like that version of her when she's just so methodical and just.
Yeah, I wanted to see that more. I wanted to see her using that more in her life.
Yeah.
But still maintaining this like facade that she has for her life. But she doesn't. It's almost like she just turns it off and then goes into coast mode for everything else, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping, like I know I keep bringing it up, but the beginning of the movie was her just building up to that, to this confident thing where it's just like, you know what? I'm tired of being sad and sorry. I'm going to use that anger. I'm going to fucking make something of it. You know, that's what I thought was going to happen. And then she just starts, popping off at all the guilty party, the guilty by association team, you know?
Yeah. And then the movie, and I looked and I couldn't help it, but I paused at this point to kind of see how much, well, not this point, but like shortly after this. And I was like, what the fuck? How do I have 40 fucking minutes left of this movie? It seems like you just did everything. I thought
the same thing. I was like, listen, movie, you have big balls trying to ask 2 hours of this shit.
Because then it becomes a rom-com. She goes back to Ryan and tries to apologize at his apartment. And he's just like, well, fuck. Basically, he's just like, fuck you. It's like he's real out of character. He's real Bo Burnham, not fucking Ryan at all. And you're just like, oh, okay.
Still unfunny, everyone. Don't get confused.
And then she's just, sulky at the coffee shop. There's some incredible framing. Like the way they shot this was great. It's like a pink wall, blue, I don't know, just like a blue cutout picture of like a portrait picture. And then she's like centered in the center of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked
some little wall art thing.
Yeah, it's a very pointless shot, but I was just like, I appreciated it all the same.
I did too, actually.
And then he comes in, he's just like, hey, you fucking twat. Like, you're just like, what the fuck?
You dirty asshole. I guess we're back together.
He's just like, fucking, wrap some fucking Bengay on my balls. Let's fucking go to the dinner. And you're just like, huh? Who the hell is this character? And then we spend like 20 minutes with this love angle, and it's not good or enjoying. Like we said, they sing Paris Hilton in a farm. They lip sing.
It's just a lot of like.
No, it's important that
it's not
because there's a guy that's staring at them, and I was like, is he a part of the movie? Because he will not stop. He will not stop. I fucking these two.
It was probably his pharmacy.
Sing it. No, I'm talking about the guy in the not the pharmacy people, but the guy that was just like in the alcohol section. Like, he's like, I just came here to get fucking the Rock's tequila, but now I'm just like way into what you guys are doing.
I'm just trying to get some absinthe. That shit burns, girl. What y'all doing?
He's just like, it's all I can drink though. And yeah, and so then we eventually end up meeting the parents.
Oh, dude, can we cruise over this part?
It's
just more of this guy's fucking bit.
It's so horrible because like they do a great job of showing how out of touch with like her and the world that the parents are, but it's so unnecessarily
I felt like it
long.
was all ad lib, dude.
I think it really was. I think his was. I
Because
think that
Cassie
side of
doesn't
the
talk in
table
this. She
was
says like
ad
one
lib.
thing.
I know, and I think the others were sticking to that fucking script, you know. And the only thing I liked was at the very end, Cassie's cleaning up, and the dad says to her, you know,
It's not funny, babe.
Zephyr, you didn't tell me he was funny. Now I know why. You know, that
Guy's
would
a
have been great
idiot.
if he had said that, but
Yeah.
he didn't. He says, you know, um, fucking Nina was like a daughter to us too, and it it broke our hearts to lose her. Like it hurt because it's established that these two girls grew up with each other from like day fucking one.
Yeah.
And he's like, but it hurt even more losing you. And basically saying like, I'm glad you're kind of back. I'm glad I'm seeing like my daughter again because like you've been gone for so long.
Mm.
And I thought like I was like, fucking did Clancy Brown just steal the fucking movie right there? Because he totally did. I was just like, oh my god, because it's like the dopey parents, they know what's going on. They just are dopey. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to address it. And then him and his like drunken, uh, happy self was just, that was the one time he was able to articulate it, and that like just I thought was a nice little. And it was short and sweet, and you didn't need all that awkward shit before it at all. It's just like you really just needed to establish he was there, and then go to that scene, not like 5 minutes of Bo Burnham being like, "Let me do some improv." All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
it could have just been like a quick montage of one of the fucking pop songs they like to put over the music,
Oh
and then it could have just been some them laughing and them eating, and then at the very end, the dad picks up the dish and says that line. I didn't need to listen to this dude be not funny.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, things are going well. Things are going well. I think
It's
at
Peter
some point
Parkins
she sees
syndrome.
she sees the mom of Nina's mom, and then Nina's mom tells her like fucking get over it. I think we missed that part technically, but I'm just gonna throw it in there real quick.
I
Played
threw
by
it in there.
Molly Shannon, who's also a comedic actress. Kevin, have you ever left
Laughed at
someone
Molly
on
Shannon.
well, that too. But have you ever well, yeah, I laughed at Superstar. I'm not gonna lie. Have you ever walked into your own home, turned and faced the front door to close it?
Yeah, because when I don't live there.
Yeah, exactly. When you don't live there, you do that shit. Anyone else who walks into their own home just like, fucking slams the door. Maybe you turn around to lock it because you're just like, I live
You're real
in.
rude. You bother everybody that's already home.
Yeah, I don't say you have to slam it, but like no one walks in, turns around, and then
Looks at the
shuts the
camera,
door. Looks at the
nods.
camera, gives a thumbs up, like, "Am I out of shot yet?" They're like, "You haven't shut the door, Molly."
Scene.
Yeah, at the door. She's just like, "Why?" Like I felt like Molly Shannon
All right,
that
guys,
moment was
strike
just
it. We're
like,
keeping it.
do I have to wear these mom jeans first of all? And why are we still doing this? Just like, and why'd you punch out so far? Why are
Molly
you like
came in wearing that.
across the street in the next house over? Like, what's going on over
Molly,
there?
we didn't get permission to shoot on the street, so we gotta just shoot from this guy's porch. He's real cool about it. It is Ohio. They are friendly to filmmakers.
Yeah, so we're gonna just kick them a couple Superman comic books and call it a fucking
Molly,
day. They love
Molly,
it here. It's like fucking currency here.
You got action number one. That's all it's gonna cost you for this brand new car.
You better get a lot of cars for that. I'm talking about the Action Comics 2011 edition. Oh, okay. So the shitty one. Got it.
The Molly, I know you're like a 50-year-old woman that has no children. Thank you for giving me this juice box that you had at the ready. I was like, did she get that for craft services?
Yeah, seriously. Like, did you have like a second child? Are you like a foster mom? Like,
is this a new movie that's unfolding?
Why do you live so far away from her parents?
The camera.
Well, that too. But like, I thought you were like childhood best friends. Why do you live so fucking far away from each other? Like, there's completely different neighborhoods.
Cassie, I moved away because you're real annoying. Because you'd always just park out in front with your fucking Dodge Dart and just kind of stare into.
No, that was a Toyota Corolla, sir. I recognize.
I meant back in the day before she moved.
Whatever. Clearly, she's only ever had that Toyota Corolla, sir. Like that is
Probably got it new. It's still running. That's a Corolla.
No, that one does last forever. So it has a good resale value still. That was probably someone on set. So we're like, all right, well, be careful, be gentle with it.
But
Who's
here's the
driving
thing,
it?
though.
No, I don't like that. No, I'll
I will
drive it.
never buy a Toyota just for their commercial quality alone. I hate every single commercial they put out. I'm like, do you want me to buy this? I'm
You're like,
not in the
not really. You're not in our demographic.
and I'm not in the market for it. I wouldn't a gun to my head, I wouldn't buy this fucking car. I
No,
hate your commercials.
I would buy a classic one for sure. But I'm definitely having someone drop in a fucking brand new engine and just like hyping that shit up. It's gonna have an old frame with a new inside.
Wait, are you
Okay,
still talking about Corollas?
definitely, definitely. Maybe,
All right.
maybe it
All
can.
right.
No, Corolla, better model, better shape. Anyway, and so then Madison shows back up, and Cassie's like, "Fuck." She comes in. She's like, "I gotta talk to you.
I haven't seen you in 7 years, but I know where you live.
I know you live. I remember you told me your mom's house was here once." They awkwardly look at the room that her mom has decorated, and she's like, "So what are you here?" And then she starts to tell him, she's like, "I gotta cut you off right there because I see this scene running long, and I already went through the spaghetti one, so I'm not doing that again." Nothing happened. I just paid him to make you feel uncomfortable and question whether he had done something.
Gotcha.
And I was like, "Wah, wah, wah," because that deflated that fucking scene. Not that I wanted anything to happen to her or her character, but it was just like, don't imply it
Well, you
and
get to
then
live
take it
with
away
it,
from
right?
me. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's your
just keep,
shackles.
yeah, I was like, you just keep doing that movie. You keep having her, implying that something is happening, that she's doing something, that she's a smasher, but then also being like, but she's really nice too. She wouldn't do that. She's not evil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like,
She gets to be evil. You already
she's
said that
still
she
evil.
gets.
That is evil to do that to begin with. Even if he didn't follow through with it the way that it was alluded to, it's still an evil thing to do. So, and yeah, and so Madison's like, I found my old phone. It has a video on it. Here you go. I wouldn't recommend watching it, but I'm gonna leave it to you, and don't ever contact me again. And I was like, thank God we don't have to see this movie anymore, Allison Brie. I was like, the community reunion show is calling for you. And then so she watches the movie, and what's the first and most prominent voice we hear, Kevin? Bo Burnham.
Chevy Chase?
No, Bo Burnham.
I was thinking about Community. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know. Ryan. We hear Ryan's character. Ryan is very prominently featured on this video of Al Monroe.
Well, yeah, because in the video, she's like, hey, you know how to work a BlackBerry? And she's like, what?
She's like, uh-huh.
She's like, no, they're making a comeback. No, they're not. Here, just take this. I didn't delete it or anything, but I kept it because they shot it on this.
It's the only thing on here. It's queued up 24/7. Just on a loop.
Yeah. When I get bored when I'm
It's like a GIF with audio. Like, okay. Anything else you want to say? Don't ever contact me again. And you're like, okay. All right. And so, yes, it's just, and thankfully we don't see this video because I
don't think you needed to.
I didn't need to, and I didn't want to. I was just like, because again, the tone of the movie's all fucked up. So if I saw that, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening here, movie? We just went hardcore. And then it's just, you're basically hearing the audio of Ryan in shock of seeing, playful shock too, I might add, of seeing Al rape Nina. And that there's a lot of people there, and none of them are doing anything. And they're just like, oh, this is crazy. College is fun. Med school, yay. And that's kind of where that is. And then she takes a breather in the park, and then she decides, I'm going to go stop by Ryan's work one more time.
I kind of liked it. I liked it when she just tried to decompress while walking through the park.
No, I like that part, yeah.
I thought we were going to get some cool camera work. I mean, either they do like a tracking shot and she posts up on a tree. I thought we were going to kind of get there, maybe like walking into the sun, like something to kind of signify, this was it, dude. This pushes me over the edge.
Yeah, I wanted to see a lot of like sharp camera movements to like see her her safe facade crumbling, and now we're just getting all business.
Dude, yeah, I wanted to really see that walk and that move, that transition, her face. Because, like I said, I think she's a great actress when it comes to her emoting in her face. She's very snarky and she can just pull it off. And I wanted to see her face, her eyes just kind of change. Like, dude, you just fucking awoken the beast. I'm
Yeah.
so hurt. I'm so fucking full of vengeance. It's gonna just rain down upon you, motherfuckers, like you have no idea. And he didn't get it. She just leaned against a tree.
She just leaned against a tree. Yeah. I mean, it's just like
And then the song's like
at
so
the
you
point
had a bad day.
that would have been horrible.
Dude, I would have turned the
But
fucking
the rest of
movie
the
off.
movie, the rest of the movie is a little bit like that. But yeah, you just kind of see her kind of trying to get her composure, but it's just, I don't know. You almost want more. And so then she's out to see Ryan, and you're just like, well, I know what she's going to do. Like, if someone didn't recognize his voice, I guess they were going to be like, oh, shit, that was him. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's definitely Bo Burnham. I mean, that's what he sounded like on the comedy album I listened to, so it wasn't hard for me to pick up on or anyone else paying attention. And she's at the hospital, and he's just like, "What are you doing here? What? This is where I work. What?
Why are you so awkward?
Yeah, I don't know why he's so fucking surprised to see someone he knows outside of work at
Like,
work. He's just
she's
like, what?
already-
How did this happen? You're not a
Like,
child.
she's already shown up at your work before. Like, what? Calm down, dumbass. It wasn't like you were in the middle of surgery or something. Or
Yeah. And she's like, we gotta talk. And he's just like, but I'm clocked in. I'm on the clock. I'm hourly. Pediatricians who go by the hour. And she's like, just take a 15. And he's just like, oh, it's Ohio. I don't get paid 15s. And then they end up in some fucking room that we reuse later on with a tinier desk for him to sit behind. And she's like, here, I just want to show you this. And then he's like, what is it? What is it? And there's the video on loop instantly when she turns the phone on. And
she's really great though. She plays this up. She like sits in his lap.
Yeah, she does.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
boyfriend.
She's like, you didn't think it was over, did you? And he's like, I'm about to ruin this scene because I should, as a character, be contemplating how my life is fucked if this video gets out. And that's what she said. She's just like, you're fucked. I'll send this to everyone in your contacts. I'll send this to the hospital or whatever medical facility, pediatrician main office or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt they're going to be like, cool. Because she even acknowledges at this point that times have changed and this isn't so forgiving anymore, which I did appreciate. I was like, I don't know why it took this long in the fucking movie to get there, but whatever.
Right.
And, but he's just kind of like, whoa, fuck, what do you want from me? Just does this whole, like, I didn't believe that every person when confronted with this would just be defensive and defend themselves. Like, you're telling me no one would be like, oh shit, like, I can't believe that's me, like, if you wanted, like, you've built this guy as the ultimate nice guy. He's even called out other creepers and stuff. But then when he's faced with it, he's just like, oh, fuck, man. I mean, what do you want? I was just like a kid and shit, like, that's his defense instantly.
His true colors come out.
Yeah. But I was like, we've had so many other opportunities to see his true colors. His true colors were revealed when he drank the coffee with spit in it. I was like, he's a creeper. So, and then she's just like, I won't send this video if you tell me where Al Monroe's bachelor party is happening. And he's just like, what are you going to do? And then she's like, that's not for you to fucking worry about. She's like, you don't get to ask that shit. And I was like, why would he ask that shit? I'd be like, cool, here you go. Here's the address. Fucking, can you delete that? Like right now, please? So, and then she's getting ready. She's going to Al Monroe's party. And it's strange. I don't know. This is all strange. She is dressed like a nurse. She's getting herself kind of like hyped up for it. Like a sexy Halloween nurse, like that type of shit.
Like a stripper
but
nurse.
Why did she throw her license plate into the woods?
I don't know if she knew she was coming back, dude. That's what I thought.
Well, no, I had a feeling because I know that at this point the movie wanted you to think she was coming back. And
I didn't
spoiler,
think that at all. Yeah.
I didn't think that at all either. But that's
I
why I
thought
found it so weird to take the license plate off. I was like, this is your fucking swan song. You're not coming out of this. You could if the movie wanted you to. But I know that's not the
Maybe
point of
that
this.
she knows that she wouldn't be found and her parents would always have that hope. I don't know, dude. Like, I didn't really kind of, that
No,
was,
because the point was to get found, though, as we later learned. So that's the thing. That's why
maybe.
it's such a poetic thing that doesn't make sense with the rest of
Maybe to get found with the license plate. Like, they're most definitely gonna like move my car, but
or
maybe they
if
don't.
or if they see like I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's like a little crumb in the woods, little Hansel and Gretel style, you know?
Yeah. So she walks in her stockings up this dirt muddy road, and I was like, put the shoes on. My
There's got to be something
God,
with
what
that.
is? Yeah. Well, they only do it twice, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. She gets there. Schmidt from New Girl answers the door, and I'm not gonna like him, and I got real fucking angry. I do not enjoy that man's acting, and I was just like, oh my God, he's gonna be unbearable, and he was. And then so just to kind of blitz to this scene to get to the final one. So she just, Al's such a nice guy. He's like, hey guys, I said no strippers. Anastasia's gonna be so mad. Blah 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 blah. She's pouring drinks into all the guys' mouths. She says to Al, I only get paid if I take you upstairs. So he's like, all right, fine. Twist my arm. And they go up there. She handcuffs him to the bed. And she just starts, kind of talking to him. And he's just like, I'm such a good guy. I don't want to. You don't have to do this. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, what's your name? And she's like, Candy. And I was just like, oh, that was great. And he's like, no, your real name. And she's like, Nina Fisher. And he's just like, what the fuck? Because apparently Al's the only one that's never forgotten Nina's name.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you want to take this one, Kevin? I feel like I'm hogging the ending.
No, well, yeah, he's bound by the handcuffs and stuff, and she opens up and she's like, oh, thinking about going back to med school, or I just got a passion for fucking medicine. She opens up her little book, and it has like this scalpels and stuff.
Yeah, just scalpels and more scalpels. There's a lot of different scalpels.
A lot of blades.
Maybe a bone saw and
they call it a blade of the streets.
A fucking reflexes hammer. For some reason, I was like, "What are you gonna do with that?"
But before she before she starts going slicing and dicing, she kind of just interviews him. She's like, do you remember her name? He's like, oh, it's you. And she's like, that was my best friend. She cuts like this little promo on him, like how she was one of the most beautiful girls. I just wanted her to be my friend. I was so enthralled when she wanted to be, and like we were inseparable. So she kind of gives you something I really wish the movie would have kind of gave me sooner, so I could kind of root for her instead of try to figure her out.
Well, it would have been great if after every guy, like maybe when every guy she like got quote unquote this like soft revenge on, if she had told each one of them that her name was Nina Fisher, and then cut this Nina Fisher promo on all of them.
Well, that's what I thought. Like when you went back to the Nina picture and the Cassie picture, I was like, dude, maybe Nina's just something in her head, right? Maybe it's a version of her that was going to go to med school, and maybe I was thinking, what is the off chance that this happened to her? So now she hides under the Cassie name, you know what I mean? And the parents just kind of entertain the idea of like, hey, we'll call her Cassie because we lost our Nina a long time ago. That's why she hasn't moved out. She doesn't remember her birthday. So I was almost thinking that for like a second. I was like, maybe it's a split personality thing and she's finally broken free and she's their daughter again. And then I was like, well, maybe I'm just kind of trying to guess the movie. But then when it started revealing more, I was like, "Oh, this is probably what's going to happen."
Yeah, exactly. And, you were doing like 4D chess there.
Exactly. And when she gives this promo, and I was like, "Man, this really would have just resonated a lot more." As I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to pull for her and root for her to a certain extent, not kind of be like, "What's she up against? What is she doing? I know she wants revenge, but how far is she willing to go for it?"
Yeah.
And like you said, with the casting of like comedians and stuff, I got that where it was just like anyone could be a predator, and you have like these boyish type men that are just they're all real unintimidating. Like I'm pretty sure she could probably fuck these dudes up. You know what I mean? Like I was just kind of like, these guys are like real pussy looking dudes, but that's not the point, right? It's what they represent. Mm-hmm. So she goes through that stuff, and he's terrified. He's trying to get out of there. He knows what he's done. He knows this is his comeuppance. It's that Piper time, and they're gonna play him out. And she just gets so cocky, man, and she starts to cut him, and then he kind of gets free on one side, and he flips her
Well,
over.
it's great. Well, it's great real quick though, because she's just like, she was like, she was my Nina until she was yours, and then all she heard was your name. It wasn't Nina's name anymore.
Right, yeah.
And she's like, and so it made me wonder, when's the last time someone said Nina's name? Because it really is true. Everyone else that's talked or that she's brought up about this, only the lawyer has actually said Nina. Everyone else is like, I don't know who that is. And so she's like, basically she implies, I'm gonna carve her name on your body. And I was like, fuck yeah, carve it on his fucking forehead and call it an end. But like you said, she gets too cocky. Then
She gets too
breaks
cocky.
free.
Yeah, he breaks free, and it's just like, and that was where I was just like, man, her character when she's in this revenge mode is pretty calculated, and like I said, she's an intelligent woman by
Yeah.
all. She's an intelligent character, period. When she's pushed to do those things, and then I was like, well, you did like some gimmick handcuffs, like some sex cuffs, like.
Yeah.
Well, and he's going to be fighting for his life right now. So I don't know if you understand. He's going to be just amped with adrenaline. So he gets free. It turns into a small little wrestling match. He gets on top of her and smothers her with a pillow.
For 25 minutes of this movie.
25 minutes runtime. Correct, Dustin.
Yeah.
I clocked it. And
it was excruciatingly long. I was like, okay, are you making some point that this is how long it actually takes, or that he's this bad at it? Because you killed the tension when it just kept going.
Well, and that was, I didn't like this part because camera work aside, where it's been strong in like framing and stuff, I was like, you guys could have used some more camera work to accentuate this.
Yeah, like
you're taking away our main protagonist, right? You're killing our character.
The hats.
Yeah, you're killing our main character, and it needs to be more powerful than what you're showing me. I'm on this journey with her, and I guess maybe if I had more compassion for her from the beginning, this would have hit a lot harder for me. I'd been like, no, dude, I wanted to see her kill these I wanted to see her get a revenge that met her needs. And they kill her, and I was like, okay. And I thought to myself, I was like, kind of finally this movie does something.
Yeah.
Because it's never, I didn't really, like I said, I could not, there was no barometer for her revenge. So he sits there, and there's another like hard transition from the whole evening. The fucking Bob comes up, and he's like, whoa, man, don't tell me you and the stripper. So he's just still a gimmick, and he's like, whoa,
Joe.
man.
Joe.
Oh, Joe, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, man. He's like, she's dead. He's like, whoa, stop messing with me, man. And this kind of goes on a little too long. I needed it to be like, let's just hurry this up. Like,
yeah, no, he talks for fucking ever, and he's just like, all right, let me get her out of here, and he's just like, why is the hooker dead?
yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, why are we shifting so hard to comedy again?
Yeah, dude, and that's what I'm saying. In this scene, did I need like a gray filter on it so I didn't try to chuckle? Everything's so bright and ha-ha-y, and the guy's trying to pseudo cry when he says it. He was like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, can you please get me out of here? And he's like, don't worry, bro.
Like, it's not your fault. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. But like, this is so over the fucking top right now, movie. Like, you just killed the main character. And
exactly.
You're having them like romantically cuddle with each other and be like, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's very waka waka. And I don't
And the guy even's like, it's not. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, dude, punch it on his face. Let me see some red eyes and some tears and some snot. He's like, dude, no, calm down. Listen. We're going to fix this. We'll make it go away.
Yeah.
No one's going to know.
Just
but
like before,
Anastasia is going to be very upset with me. No, don't think
he's
about
like,
her.
she's going to be so upset. And I was just like, oh my God, that's what you're worried about right now?
It was very like, what do you call it? The movie with the baby and the sunglasses?
Hangover?
Yeah. Like, I was like, are we about to cue up the Hangover right now? It was very like LOL-y, and I was like, what?
I mean, I thought they were gonna like Weekend at Bernie's it, where they just like
classic
bring her around. They're just like, Why did you bring her to the wedding? It's a long story, babe. I'll explain it one day. And the Joe guy's just waving her arm. She's still dressed like the stripper nurse. And you're just
So,
like,
no,
this movie is very confusing.
she's
Now,
gonna have to
I
take your temperature. And they look at each other like, uh-oh. In the
Oh,
butt.
no.
Whoa.
And then just
It's like, dude, we're
Chevy
gonna have
Chase
to.
is there with his pants down. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
Chevy.
Oh
calm
no,
down.
dude! They have to do. They take the temperature and they put it in his butt. He's like, no, dude, that's for your mouth, and it goes in the other guy's mouth after it's been in his butt, and everyone looks at him like, oh no!
Oh, you're sick now. You got pink eye. They're just like, that's not how that works.
But I am sick. Whoa, wacky comedy, and then they just run around their furniture like Benny Hill.
Because that's honestly the tone has shifted so hard where it feels like that. It feels like anything is possible at this scene.
What I felt like,
And then we get this forest scene.
Dude, it just cuts over and they're giving their Darth Vader. They just got her on logs and they set her on fire, and you see her hand fall in the water.
Budget, so we're not gonna show much of it.
Hand falls in the water like brick, and then we see the half heart broken necklace. I was like, it's gonna say Cassie because the other one says Nina, and I was like, yeah, there it is. And then
fucking Joe kicks her hand back into the fire, and Al's just like, which one of us is really the monster? Me for killing her, or you for kicking the hand so senselessly? I was like, you literally have seen a bunch of cadavers, and you guys are like crying over this? This doesn't make any fucking sense.
You know how hardcore you got to be to burn something? I was like, that's...
It's like, and you're both
welcome to serial killer, guys.
Yeah, you guys are it. And it's like, I knew the movie wasn't going to end there, Kevin, because I was like, no, this movie wants her to get her revenge. It's going to do it.
She's too smart of a character to fall for something like that. Maybe that's how she wanted to die, to be with Nina, have her. You know what I mean?
She was just kind of done. She was just like, I just want out, and I'm gonna take this man's life so much harder. I'm gonna take his life from him without actually killing him. I'm gonna win by still being, I guess, like, true to myself in a way.
Yeah, because she's not that person. Because the movie showed us that she's not that violent. This isn't like a really dark thriller.
Exactly. And so the movie keeps going. You think, oh no, I thought we just burned her body and moved on,
Dustin,
or whatever.
They go to this weird hippie wedding for some reason.
No, first the cops.
Oh, that's right. They do the
cops go to the parents. The dad makes weird excuses and totally like shits on the character that's been developed the entire rest of the movie.
Well, I thought it was more of a nod to her. It's like, no, she always comes back around. We never lose Cassie. We lost her for 30 years when she lost her friend. That's why I was just like, what movie is this now? Because now it's this emotional, like...
And that guy was a comedic actor too, the cop. I was like, what the fuck? So, yeah, and then after that, then they interview Bo Burnham, and he's just like, what is this in regards to? And he's like, well, parents filed a missing persons report on Cassie.
On Friday. You broke up with her on Thursday. You're coming with me. That's what I would have said.
Exactly. Like, you always look at he was just like, yeah, I knew she was a little unhinged. He's like, oh, totally. I mean, have you heard her sing Paris Hilton? She's not. I mean, she was missing all the cues. Like, what the?
Just let me open chips without paying for them.
I mean, I'm surprised he wasn't like, what are you doing here? This is where I work. Why are you here? You're not a child. You're a police officer. Why are you here?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just, I was like, no.
I had to convince people in the room. I was like, no, they're probably just going to book him when they go down to the precinct. I mean, they're just kind of like, questioning him.
They'll ask him to come down later.
They're just put together a case, everyone.
They'll put the screws on him later when he comes. He clearly said when he come down, make an official.
Yeah, they'll Vic Mackey him. Vic Mackey was a character, everyone, in a police show that came out years and years ago.
They'll put him under the lights. I'm sure.
They'll beat him with a telephone book.
Yeah. But no, instead we cut to the lawyer who's received a package saying if I disappear, I don't know how he would know that
which I have. Check the
which I have.
He's like,
deliver this. Look for me here, I guess. I don't know. It just says deliver this fucking video to the police.
It's queued up, by the way. Enjoy that. Enjoy that BlackBerry. It's paid.
Password is not existent. You just swipe the screen up and it's there. Just hit enter. Probably. I don't know. How does a BlackBerry work? Does anyone know?
Put the battery back in and pop it out. I never had one.
it'll work. It's fine. And then we're at the hippie wedding. Okay, so the boyfriend thinks he's got away with it. The murderers and the cover-up, the best friend cover-up, they think they've gotten away with it. So now it's time for a hippie-ass wedding, which doesn't really seem to fit either of these two characters. You know, like he just got back from London. She's apparently a supermodel. Why are they getting married in the woods of Ohio? Nobody knows. Yeah, it was a cheap location. That's what it was.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, we see it's way too long. Fucking Joe Schmidt is doing his best Joe Schmidt shit, and then we are after the wedding, and he's just like, "Hey, fucking Bo Burnham, you want to hit on these maids of honor over here or some shit?" And he's just like, good to see. I'm still awkward and nice, even though you saw that I'm totally not.
Text message.
Yeah, text message. Scheduled text message.
Montage of cops raiding the compound, and then montage of the dogs everywhere. I'm like, you showed me this in the trailer.
Would the speech bubble thing be going if you were just getting a scheduled message? I'm going to say, from what I know, no. No, it would not.
Dude,
no, it would not.
The movie was trying to do tension at the very
end with a text
message.
Maybe
he had a shitty connection. Maybe he was on AT&T.
Wouldn't do that. I mean, anyone really. But yeah, so then we see the cops find the burnt area because these guys were smart enough to burn a body, but not smart enough to cover up
real dumb
the location in which they burned the body.
Guys, if you want to like dig a hole,
knock a necklace that says Nina sitting on top poetically. We see that the friend at the coffee shop.
They do the little brick moving where the hand kind of goes into the water and you get to see her fingernails. And was that after the burning?
That was during the burning.
During the burning.
That was when he kicked the hand back into the fire.
The Burning Man scene, right?
Yeah. For some reason, Cassie's necklace has been given to Gail at the coffee shop to do what with? Who knows?
It was in the register. It was maybe to be like, hey, do you still owe me some back pay?
But I totally did some shit. Were you looking at my parents or something? They're probably like gonna be real sad and shit, you know.
Hey, that don't use that French roast.
Get revenge for me. Wear this all
Dude,
the
that's
time.
what I thought. I was like, is it her movie now?
Yeah, I was just like, then that's the part that didn't make sense. I was like, what are we doing with that? It seems really like I already forgot about this character. Why are we circling back around to her? Like,
I swear to God, dude, I thought she was gonna put it on and like kill the rest of them.
That would have been nice. Someone that actually do something violent towards him. And then Al gets arrested. Anastasia is very concerned. The father-in-law just fucking beelines it for the cops. He's like, "What are you doing?" And they're just like, "Hey, fucking back off, you fucking old man."
They should have taken hard.
I mean, it's Ohio. They definitely would have.
Oh, billy clubs, just right in his kneecaps.
Yeah, and then that's and we just keep reading Nina's. Or I'm sorry, that would have been better. Cassie's messages to Ryan are just like, now it's over, and then like love. Cassie and Nina. Winky face. Cue the music that's awkwardly not a good fit for these end credits. Like, I wanted something like somber or just like, I don't know, just dark feeling.
It was the Send Me the Angel cover, and I liked that song, so I was fine with it.
Yeah, but it didn't. I like the song.
She was the angel
I hate
for
the
Nina.
Song, but it was just like,
I believed it.
This doesn't, I didn't think of it.
Well, they had the Britney Spears Toxic. Was it a cello or a violin cover?
No, I would have. It was not Toxic. I would have fucking.
It was Toxic, dude. Guarantee.
Are you serious? Then I must have been just tuning out the music because I'm not gonna lie. I love that song.
Well, dude, you'll love this version.
I'm gonna find it now. That's for sure. And then that's the end of the movie. You know,
arrested for murder.
Yeah, I feel like we were a little harder on this because at the end of the day, I didn't hate this movie, Kevin.
I didn't hate it. I was just a little disappointed.
Yeah, I was disappointed because there was a lot of build-up that I got from the movie. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't even know what the fucking movie was about, to be quite honest. I saw the title and a picture. Mm-hmm. That was it. Mm-hmm. And so I went in
Cold.
completely cold. And so I just, my anticipation was just built by the movie, and just going, "Oh, okay." Like I was able to just kind of like pause this movie. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get like a snack because like nothing's really fucking happening. And then I got this weird rom-com in the middle, and now I'm back to the revenge storyline. And then why is that guy pull up his truck on the side of the fucking road? And it's just like, I don't know. It just could have been like a bit tighter of a movie, I feel like, and we could have cut out a
Yeah,
lot of Bo Burnham.
I
Like,
think it needed to lose like 20 minutes.
of Bo Burnham.
That's a special. That's the next one.
So he's just like, I'm just trying to get my foot in Hollywood, guys. I'm like, well, don't.
Just a squirrel trying to get a nut fetus. Okay.
But I mean, I just, and the weird thing is like, not the weird thing, but I would actually encourage people to watch this. And I'm just a white fucking dude. In my opinion on this movie, honestly, doesn't even really fucking matter, because it's not made for me to criticize. It's made for me to perhaps get some perspective from. And I do hope that there are men out there that watch it and get perspective. I think sadly it's going to be mostly a female audience, which is just a damn shame, because men are going to watch this. Like, I don't want to fucking watch this. This makes me feel bad. Like I'm thinking about how I'm a scumbag.
Yeah, that makes you feel
what do you mean fucking
good.
nice? Yeah, good. That's kind of the point. The point is like, and she even says it with McLovin. She's like, I find a lot of gentlemen really aren't that much of a gentleman when put in this situation. And that's kind of the point she's bringing out at that point of the movie. But yeah, I think that'll be the unfortunate side effect, is that women will watch this movie, and maybe that'll just be beneficial to people that watch it. But hopefully, I mean, but I also dislike that. I don't want it to be just like you just watch this for the message so we can change society type of thing. It should still be like a well-told narrative and shit like that. But
and that's my whole thing. Like, message aside, I get what you're trying to do. And if you guys have listened to us at all, I'm a massive fan of strong women characters. So when I see that, I'm usually I'm all about it. I'm a big fan of that stuff. And my only complaint with the movie is the way the narrative is told. It's just, there's a lot of just disjointment in there where I'm not really sure about motivations. I overall get it. There's little things. It's just the way the narrative is presented, not what it's trying to say. It's just how it's presented is where I had my biggest gripes with it. When it comes to like tone, and when it comes to like Cassie's motivations overall. And like I said, it's probably my own fault. I was maybe picturing something a lot more, I don't know, she's more
violent.
Yeah, maybe there's more retaliation in the way she's getting said revenge, but is she that character? And so I could have just set my own self up for disappointment, trying to push my thoughts onto what I wanted the movie to do, like I said. But overall, like I said, I think what's her nuts? I think Carey Mulligan, I think she could be a star in the making of a bigger scope. I liked her performance. I just found a lot of the,
she's doing all right outside this movie, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't follow.
I definitely think more people are going to be like, "Oh, hey,
yeah, that's what I
right
mean.
Now,
Exactly. That's what I really. I mean, I'm sure she's eating 3 times a day. She's good. So
she's like sometimes 4. Sometimes I just get bored and I just take a little snack.
Guilty. So, and that's what I mean. It's just like, I already voiced all my issues with the movie. It's just a presentation of your narrative. I'm really kind of easy to watch pretty much anything to see what your narrative can and will do. And it's just this, I just thought there was just it was just kind of beat up. It just needed, like you said, I think it needed to be tighter.
Yeah, because in a way, and thinking about it now after we've talked about all this, it really feels like almost 3 ideas that they made interject and work with each other. You have the, bar pickup ones, we're teaching the guys the lessons, and then you have the Bo Burnham love story and like moving on with your adult life, and then you have the revenge for Nina storyline. And when you really separate them like that, yeah, they don't really make sense together, but they found a way to just kind of intercut them and make it sort of work. But maybe it could have worked, I don't know, better. Maybe we didn't need the whole picking up guys at the bar thing, and we could have really just focused on the revenge and the other thing, and I think that would have been fine. So, but I don't know. Maybe it was in love with its own gimmick. That's hey, I won't fault that. I think that's every creator's problem at times. So
Yeah.
but that's it. Take us out. Tell them where to find us.
Oh man, I was gonna say you can check it out if you like on your favorite podcast providers, and by checking it out, it's Us Versus Movies. It's Kevin, it's Dustin. Check it out a week later. You can see it on the U of the Tube if you're into that. We'll try to do it again next week, and see you next time. Later, Dustin.
Later, Kevin.